Was down at camp yesterday. I'll give you the Joey Murr take from Patriots camp yesterday. Joey goes to camp. We'll do that coming up in just a little bit. Red Sox making moves and trying to stay in the race. Just a game and a half out of a playoff spot. They're still in it. And tomorrow is the trade deadline, or 2 days to go until the trade deadline. And some Celtics stuff still out there. A take that I've had for weeks is just coming back out. At one point I was told that Joe, no, we should be able to talk about it, but I don't know. Can we talk about it? Because we will. Tonight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The phone number is 617-779-0985. Skaz is here. I ran into Skaz at the local market basket today. We were both scrounging around looking for a grab-and-go item. Not much there, Skaz. Not much there today. So we went there, and now we're here. Christina's here tonight, our intern. She'll be answering the phones. I see you guys already on the YouTube. It's real easy to do. YouTube.com/The Sports Hub. You can pull it up on any device. I like to use my remote control, and I just yell, and I hit the speaker button, and I put on 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube, and then boom! It's right there. So you can certainly do that. I wanted to start Patriots. I'm sure you all know how I feel about the Patriots this year. I have extremely low expectations. And while I was there yesterday, nothing really changed. And I'll give you the rundown coming up in just a little bit on that. But today was the first day in pads, and it was a tough one out there. Drake May had a tough day. First day in pads, of course he's not going to look good. There were some players not at camp today on the first day of padded practices, and I'm still not sure exactly why they weren't dressed. I'm sure we could probably figure that one out. But here's a few things I wanted to bring up really quick. This is just day 5 of training camp, people. It's day 5. And I saw this from Ben Volen, who I saw yesterday. I met him. I'm not sure if he met me, but I saw him. This is how he summed up the Patriots' first practice in pads. Judon doesn't suit up, has heated conversations with front office and coach, and then leaves. Godshaw doesn't put on pads. 4 players run penalty laps for mistakes. The entire offense runs a penalty lap. Uche was kicked out for fighting, said it was a rough day. It's day 1, people. The leadoff thought is the Christian Barmore news regarding blood clots. Devastating news for anybody. Devastating for his career, his own health, and then football related. The defensive line is now short. He's one of their best players on the team, and he's a true game wrecker, a guy you have to game plan for. Godshaw wants an extension, and wow, the timing couldn't have even been better. And I've looked at I like our lads. That's where I go for the old depth chart stuff. If you just type in our lads and then Patriots, you'll get their whole roster. It's all pretty much updated right there. The defensive line, not so strong. Godshaw, Keon White, who still has something to prove, Dietrich Wise. After that, it's Daniel Aquale, Jeremiah Farms, Sam Roberts. Yeah, not good. Not good at all. So this is day 5 of camp, and right now they don't have a starting defensive tackle. It's day 5 of training camp. Then there's the Matthew Judon situation, the hold-in, as we like to call it. It's the first day in pads, but you know what? He's been out there. But once the pads come out, I don't know if he used the Barmore stuff as leverage. But you could argue Judon and Barmore are the best two defenders on the Patriots. At least guys you have to game plan for and can get in the backfield. He sat around today, sitting on a trash barrel. Gerard Mayo was seen talking to Judon. Then he left the field. He must have scrolled around on Instagram during that time, seen liking things regarding him. Then he comes back, and he was seen talking to Elliott Wolf and Matt Groh. It's the 5th day of camp. Not a good look. And I have always said, I've had people push back on it. That's why I love doing the night show. I give a take, and it lives. Or I'm wrong, and I own it. I have said that Matthew Judon has all the leverage in this situation, and he certainly does. He could cry his way out of town, get cut, sign with another team, and make more than the $7 million he will get this year. And, did I use the leverage? Yep, no Barmore. Godshaw not there either. And just to add a little bit more insult here, Jabril Peppers, who signed a contract over the weekend, one of Bill Belichick's big free agent signings a couple of years ago, he dinged up today, signed an extension over the weekend. It's the 5th day of practice, everybody. These things, they happen to bad football teams. You sign a guy, he gets hurt. You extend Barmore in the offseason, health injury, an unfortunate one. And, this happened with David Andrews a couple of years ago. Everything seems positive, but you can't depend on that guy this season. And it's unfortunate. He's really come along. It's sad. It's an unfortunate life health situation that is going to hurt the team this year. But these things happen. The Matthew Judon thing happens when you're a bad football team. And I'll give you my camp take tomorrow. But when you hear that the number 3 overall pick had a tough day, couldn't get the huddle correct or the line exchanges and threw interceptions and was not good on the first day of camp, again, these things happen to bad football teams. So I've been asking the question of late, what's a successful season for the Patriots? It all starts with Gerard Mayo and what's going on with this Judon thing. We haven't even seen Mayo coach a game yet. He's had a bad offseason. He really has. Some of the things he said in the media, bad. What about today? Was today bad? We don't even know what he said to Judon, but he walked off. Is it a bad thing? Is the way that they're handling the Matthew Judon thing bad for what he's trying to do, bad for his business? So I'll tell you right now, this is a bad football team. They see what people are writing too. Oh, yeah. I had a chance to talk to Pop Douglas yesterday. He sees it. Rookies are retweeting it. Imagine that, rookies. Imagine a rookie doing that with Bill Belichick here. These things, although may have happened under Bill Belichick, at least Belichick had it under control. We'll start there tonight and your thoughts on the Patriots and their first padded practice, the Christian Barmore situation, the Godshaw situation, the Matthew Judon situation, and Drake May, reports say, not as good as Mac Jones yet. Woof. I'll give you my take on it. I was at camp yesterday. We'll do all that. Coming up next, we got Skaz here. We got Christina as well. The phone number 617-779-0985. I'll see you guys on the YouTube as well. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
offense. They drew the short straw. They happened to be the ones standing in the firing line. But we watched this in 2020 when Cam Newton came in and they scrapped an offense and put in a high school style one. We watched it in 2021 when they actually did a decent job rebooting to the old Patriots way. With Mac Jones, 2022, disaster. 2023, still couldn't get it done, even bringing back Billy O'Brien. So this is the 5th year. So the impatience of a Patriots fan, of a media member, or maybe of even a defensive player is inherent in watching this product right now take, as I said earlier, baby steps.
With that kind of recent track record, you can't fault people for assuming the worst, fair or unfair, when it comes to the offensive product.
Back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray here with you tonight till 11 o'clock. I see you guys on the YouTube. It looks good in here. We got these extra bright lights on. So it makes me, I feel like it makes me look skinnier. I don't know why. The lights make me look thinner. I see Artie in there, Russ Fox, Jay Buck, what's up? The infamous sneak attack, who's that? Jason Solo, Baba Ganoush, Einbein, all the characters are in there. All our friends hanging out tonight. I see Christina talking in there as well. Derek's looking for Cerrone. He was with me yesterday at camp. We were both there. Real quick, that was Curran and Perry. They do that after camp special. I saw it yesterday. Everybody's got their own, what are they called? You've done promotions there, Skaz. You know, step and repeat. You know, feel like I should get one. You know,
it's a big Joe Murray banner behind you.
Just a big step and repeat of me. You know, I'll just pull it wherever they want it. You know, I'll do it wherever. So Skaz, since you just spoke, I'll ask you this. We'll get into the expectation stuff for the quarterback and all that in a minute here. The Christian Barmore, the situation's devastating for him himself personally, and really as a team. You can't. I mean, I don't like to talk about health injuries, but this is one where I think someone's out indefinitely.
Yeah, I think devastating is a good word for it. He's, and obviously you just hope he's okay. They figure it out. Obviously, all that stuff goes without saying. But from a Patriots perspective, it's a massive, huge loss. You were relying on him to be. I know we'd say Judon's probably their best player, but Barmore's right there, and he's an ascending player, a guy that you view as potentially a cornerstone for years to come. And yeah, this is.
Oh, he's a pillar.
Yeah,
he's a pillar for what they want to do and that defense. So if everyone thinks the defense is still good. Oh, they're going to lean on the defense. Well, Godshaw wants his new contract, right? And then you want Jeremiah Farms and Daniel Aquale? That's where you're at. So, not good. And then the Matthew Judon situation, I've always said he had the leverage. Because I think he does. I think if he talks his way out of town.
Well, it seemed like he might have been trying to earlier today.
They shut the lights off. They must have been listening. Oh, no. If he wants to, I'm telling you, he'll get more than $7 million if he gets cut. And then why would you want, my whole thing is, why would you want to do that? Player gets his way, the next player can do it, and then that's the Mayo era.
Kind of sets a bad precedent.
And I just think Belichick would make him sweat it out or wait it out or, and he's probably done it with him before, right?
But also, this is kind of what the Patriots did this to themselves because they handed out so many deals this offseason to their own guys. So Matthew Judon says, well, I'm a better player than all these guys. You handed out contracts to all of them. When do I get mine?
Not a good look today, though.
It was
the Mayo thing.
Not great.
Leaving, coming back. There were agents all around. Like, I don't know how often agents are just kicking around the practice field.
Seem like those are usually behind closed doors conversations, maybe out of the view of cameras.
Yeah, it reminds me of Any Given Sunday, where it's just like the agent is just on the sideline, like what's going on there. And then Peppers left. So if you really want to look at the layers of the defense, Barmore, Judon, Peppers. I don't know. 3 pretty good players, huh? It's day 5. It is day 5 of training camp. Woof. So, I was at camp yesterday. I'll give you the old Joe rundown at camp. Last year I went. Last year I watched the quarterbacks. And last year I said that Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones, looking at the two of them, the gap isn't that far, and that Zappi is better. I said it. And no, I guess there wasn't a quarterback competition, or maybe I needed to be told when there was a I don't know. All I know is when I went down there last year, I saw with my eyes, and I went back again this year. And I'll get into the quarterbacks in a minute here. Here's the number one takeaway for me. It was very, very light. Very light. I think I worked up more of a sweat trying to get into that place than they did during a practice. There were no sleds, no practice dummies, none of that stuff. Nope, none. Out. To me, I'm used to double sessions, triple sessions, crab walks, rolls on your belly, that kind of thing. The old school way. One thing I did like, they were doing these one-on-one drills between receivers and defensive backs, and they were like 40-yard plays. And I saw Christian Gonzalez get absolutely toasted by Javon Baker. Toasted. Not good. The line was not good, again, without pads. And there were a lot of speed drills. It just stood out that I don't know if there's too much spacing or something with the line. I can't explain it. We used to go your toe to the back heel. Right? Everything I did was 25 years ago, so it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know what they were doing. It seemed too spaced. Couldn't figure that out. The kickers were not good. I was live betting if they were going to hit it or not, double or nothing. True story, Skaz. If you were there, we would have been making money. Joey Sly wasn't great either. So between Ryland and Sly, oof, not sure what you got there. Here is my Drake May take. He looked like the best quarterback out there physically. Arm strength, mobility, height. He can really do some good things going to his right. Rollouts, things to that degree. It's very fluid. I personally thought he did some really good things to his left, something where I thought Mac Jones struggled with. But every single pass that May throws, it's like a baseball pitcher. It always rides high. It rides high. And that could be an issue for some receivers who run their routes. And if it is a high, it could go off a hand and be picked. That is something I think that he needs to work on, number one. And I do agree his substitutions, communication with linemen, in and out of the huddle, it needs a lot of work. I'm pretty sure at North Carolina, this dude went out on the field. The linemen were set. He would look to the sideline, look at those funny little designs that they do on the sideline. He'd clap, and then it'd hut. The NFL is completely different for him. There's no doubt about it. He is not up to speed when it comes to that. But besides that, I think he looks the part. And I'm going to compare it to what Anthony Richardson went through last year. Anthony Richardson, if you watch what he did, that guy had trouble getting in and out of the huddles. He really did not know how to run the offense whatsoever, but his skill alone just kept him so competitive. I don't know if the Patriots can afford to do that with Drake May. And although Richardson's a phenomenal athlete, I don't think Drake May has that ability yet. So he has problems with substitutions, huddles, communication. Lyman had false starts. Things were messy at times. Bill Belichick used to make them run laps. Mayo did not do that. Eventually, Brissett kind of came in and settled things down for May. So I actually saw a little bit of those two guys working together, veteran, rookie. But Drake May, I know Greg Bedard came on today and said that, he's behind what Mac Jones was. Don't freak out about that comment. Mac Jones came out of Alabama and was polished, was ready to go and played in the pro offense. But Mac Jones did not have the ability that Drake May has. So just because he's slow out of the huddle and doesn't, still struggling to get the calls in, that's the transition from the college to the NFL game. I just wouldn't sweat that. I think he needs to learn how to run an NFL huddle. Needs to be out there, knows who to tell, hey, where the mic is. A lot of that he needs to figure out, which is why I don't think he's going to play. If I had to rank the 4 quarterbacks yesterday, I thought Bailey Zappi was the most consistent quarterback on the field. But there were times where they were running drills, and it was Zappi's turn, and they would just change to another drill. So my takeaway was they want him there for insurance. He's been solid. It's Brissett, and it's May trying to get every rep he can just to learn. He needs to learn. He needs every single rep possible. I just think Zappi's there for insurance. But Joe Milton, yep, he's got the arm. He's got the body. He's got it all. He can't make a throw around the goal line on any short. He struggles on screens, on anything to a running back. And in 11-on-11s, he had a lot of balls off a guy's hands because he throws it too hard. I don't think Joe Milton's making the team. I think he'll get cut and come to the practice squad. He needs a lot of work. I'm talking the work between May and Milton is light years. So don't be scared off by he's not where Mac Jones was. Mac Jones peaked in college, dude. When he came in, he knew terminologies, could run plays. He was ready to go. But he did not have the athletic ability. May has it all. So my comparison, if you really want to look at it, it's what Anthony Richardson did a year ago. If you just want him to go out there, show his ability, and learn on the fly, he was exciting for the Colts. I just think Drake May struggles so bad right now, and it's early, and it's okay. He needs to just learn the NFL huddle. Something he did not do in college. A couple other takeaways I'll give you from yesterday. A couple of quotes here. I thought Javon Baker was great. Antonio Gibson looked good. He caught some nice passes out of the backfield. After practice, Drake May was working with KJ Osborne. He had a drop. Again, May threw it behind him. I'm not sure. I think it was more of a May let it fly a little too high, but it was May telling Osborne where he wanted him to be. I thought that was pretty good. And they got a lot of extra work in together. May, Osborne, Brissett, Zappi, they were all there when practice ended. And I thought that it was cool that Drake May carries both Bailey Zappi and Brissett's helmets. Because that's what rookies do. That's what rookies do. But if you just watched on the field, the 4 quarterbacks that are out there, there is no doubt about it. Drake May has the best ability out there. He just has to learn how to do the little things to be on the same page as everybody else, because right now he's not there. And it's okay that he's not there. He can develop in practice and on the sideline and by watching. But for Patriots fans, you better get ready for the Brissett Zappi era, because I think it's happening. I don't think May's playing. Maybe we'll see something different in the preseason. He has a lot of work to do. Footwork, calling out line protections, getting the plays in the huddle. He struggled today with pads on. That's going to happen. First day of pads, welcome to the NFL. But as far as comparing him to what Mac Jones was, you can't. Mac Jones was an elite, just thinker. He did everything right. He was taught by Nick Saban and that pro offense, playing with, NFL caliber players that told him how to do things. When he was here, he was groomed and ready to go. He didn't have the talent. It's the complete opposite end for May. May has all the talent, needs all those other things. And I think that's okay. Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. I did want to get into some Red Sox stuff coming up in a bit. I know they made a move today. And, of course, the Jason Tatum stuff. Let's take a couple of calls, though. Let's talk to Ben. He's in Nashville. What's going on, Ben?
Hey, what's up, Joe? I think one of the reasons why Tatum didn't play yesterday was because the backlash that they've been getting for Jaylen Brown. And I think Grant Hill and executives might have mentioned that not to play him. So they don't look stupid by playing Derek White a bunch of minutes.
Yeah, we'll get into that, man. But, yeah, did you see the look on Tatum's face?
Yeah, he looked like he was going to cry. I felt so bad for him. I felt like he was like, Peyton Pritchard not playing.
Thanks. Jay's in the car, Jay.
Hey, what's going on? I'm ready, Joe. I'm ready to embrace the suck, if you will, because I can see us now drafting a number one wide receiver with the high pick next year, and then our left tackle in the second round, and then looking at the future and going, oh my gosh, we got now a developed Drake May and all the pieces we need to be a true contender.
Nah, dude, you need a tackle, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Second round, left tackle.
Oh, no. 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 Yes, Christina, sometimes I yell like I'm yelling at a dog. No. This team needs a tackle. They need a tackle. Need. By the way, I watched Jalen Polk yesterday. Meh. So people want to get mad about Drake May being the number 3 overall pick. They drafted a wide receiver instead of a lineman when they knew they needed a lineman and could have paid for a receiver. Embrace the suck. Should we get shirts that say that? ETS, embrace the suck. What do you guys think? 617-779-0985. Maybe we'll make it a sticker. Hey, we got the headlines coming up. I'll tell you what happened in the world of sports today.
Sports Hub headlines.
about the direction the team is going in.
Yes, and the trade deadline Tuesday night. So we'll see if any more moves are made. But the big move for the Yankees was Carlos Rodon tonight.
Let's not forget in the 5-hole tomorrow for the Yankees. Most likely it'll be Giancarlo Stanton. Lineup gets longer.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Red Sox, I watched every single game on ending on Saturday night. Every one of them. I was entertained by every game this week. My takeaway from the weekend is, are the Red Sox good, or do the Yankees also kind of suck? I can't tell. Because they both just gave up like 7, 8, 9 runs a game. It was competitive. I actually enjoyed it. Not going to lie to you. Sometimes the Red Sox got out. Then the Yankees would get out. The Yankees have, when it comes to the Yankees, facing Soto and Judge in the first inning is just a nightmare. You could be down 2-0, 3-0 immediately. And that's what happened this weekend. They kept fighting back. But some of these numbers here, listen, clearly the Red Sox need bullpen help. They need bullpen help. They need more arms. They just need, like, a recharge. They're starting to slow. It's something that happens every year with this team. But in the second half so far, 8 blown leads. 1 in the 7th inning, 9th inning, 7th inning, 7th inning, 12th inning, 10th inning, 10th inning, 9th inning, 8th inning. Oh, it's tough to watch. The ERA is the worst since the All-Star break. They've been outscored by 24 runs in their last 9 games. It's not good right now. They need help. They added a catcher. They got rid of McGuire. He had a couple of hits yesterday. They needed a right-handed bat. But overall, they're still in it. They've added Paxton. They've added Jensen now as their catcher. Alex Cora has gotten his extension. Today, they made a trade for Quinn Priester. And to me, I'm fine with it. I would give up the high-drafted middle infielder for a 23-year-old pitcher that has major league experience, who's 23 years old, and you have team control until 2029. In. Is it a fair trade? Maybe. Does it help this year's team? No. Could it? Maybe. It's not one of those impactful arms that you thought. But they're doing some things here, and the name I'd watch right now, and I'm not sure if anything's happened with him yet or not, is Jack Flaherty. What's the deal with Jack Flaherty at the moment? I've heard rumblings. That Boston and New York, those are the 2 teams. And I'll see if anything has happened since I've driven in today. Yeah, Jack Flaherty is on the Red Sox radar. They could, of course, they're the interest kings, but that would be a pretty decent move. Now, you'd have to give up something for that. Starting pitcher from the Tigers, who I think was linked to the Red Sox before, if I don't remember. He's 28. He was scratched from his start tonight. Just reading it now. The Dodgers also, wow, a lot of teams are interested on this. Will the Red Sox give up a top prospect? And according to Bob Nightingale right now, the New York Yankees are in extensive talks for Flaherty. Ugh. Very interesting. That's a guy I would have liked. And I'm just looking at his last start. 6 innings, no earned. 2.95 ERA this year. You'd have to give up a haul. That's the whole thing. The Red Sox want to make moves. They want to do things. Will they move on from guys that they like? I mean, they moved on from a 15th ranked prospect the other day. They've signed their 2 first-round picks today. That's not going to help them this year at all. Overall, though, Red Sox are an exciting team to watch. And at this point, if they don't do something to bolster this team or at least help this team, you're not going to watch anymore because you're going to complain about ownership, not investing, and it's the easy way out when covering the team. Wow, Tyler O'Neill got Player of the Week? Guys, is that true? Tyler O'Neill got Player of the Week?
News to me, but yeah, I believe that is true.
Yeah, Pete Abraham. That guy.
Pipes.
Giveth, taketh, right? He'll give you 2 home runs. He'll cost you a run in the game.
Might be a better DH than an outfielder.
Yeah, he can't see the field anymore. I know he can play there. But, like, did your arms get in the way? Could you not? You know those weightlifters? When it's like, I can't reach, man, my arms. It's like they always look like they're holding suitcases.
You see someone, like, slap a Post-it note on the middle of their back and they can't get it off.
Yeah, yes.
A little of that going on. Not the most flexible.
Dude is raking right now. Don't get me wrong. But he hurts them in the field. Wow, I just say AL Player of the Week. Giveth and taketh away. That's what Pipes does. Oh, man. Absolutely crushed them. Your thoughts on the Red Sox? They're on. We'll talk about them. 617-779-0985. I was just thinking about guys with, if you stuck a Post-it note on his back, kick me on his back, he wouldn't be able to reach it at all. All right, I got some thoughts on this Jason Tatum Team USA thing, and somehow it involves Jaylen Brown, of course. There's a conspiracy going on. There's a conspiracy. I feel like I feel like the warden in Shawshank. There's a conspiracy. Everyone's in on it, including her. Then he finds the hole. Not you. Christine. You haven't seen Shawshank Redemption?
So innocently, just goes, wait, is he talking about me?
God, no. This is what I mean. There have been references on this show that I have to explain. Can you believe that?
It would be Raquel Welch, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Red got Andy a nice new poster. And since he knew rocks so well and whatever the study they call that, he dug a hole. And then he crawled through a football yard's worth of crap and came out on the other side. Could you believe that? True story. Or was it? We'll get into more of this Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum stuff coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
The reigning, defending NBA champion, Jason Tatum. And you can't find minutes in a 26-point lopsided victory. You can't find 1 minute. I'm trying to get away from cussing because, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I'm a decent human being that loves the Lord, and my pastor's watching me sometimes, and I know he gets mad at me when I cuss. But Steve Kerr, that's some straight bullshit. You gotta be kidding me. All these people getting on my damn nerves. And to have him go through an entire NBA season and then go through the playoffs and capture a championship and still take time in his offseason to join Team USA and to have a champion riding the bench like he's some damn water boy. You got to be kidding me. Really hard in a 40-minute game to play more than 10 guys. It's Team USA. 0. The reigning, defending.
Well, Stephen A. Smith, I couldn't have said it any better, sir. You got to swear, too. I can't. So, I was on the air yesterday when this was happening, okay? And I heard that some of the players were out in the rain during the opening ceremonies, and some of them may have been sick. Okay. Then I heard, well, Kevin Durant is coming back, so, he was going to get his reps, and da-da-da-da-da-da. I don't believe that he was late, and that's why he was benched. I don't. Because if that was the case, I think they would probably say that. I'm just going to flat out say it, Skaz. Last week we referenced an article from Sports Illustrated that he's on the cover on, and he said when in regards to Jaylen Brown and trade talks, he probably should have been more vocal, and says that if he could have changed anything, he wishes he was just more vocal in general. So, did Jason Tatum speak out on Jaylen Brown's behalf, and that's why he's missing game 1? Is he guilty by association? Because, again, they said that he didn't play because it was a basketball move.
Which is one of the worst excuses I've ever heard in any medium.
So, is the basketball move, Team USA has an affiliation with Nike, you have an affiliation with Nike, your teammate has been outspoken about a conspiracy that's been going on, which I agree with him 100%, and I think he's being boycotted because of his freedom of speech and his beliefs. Absolutely. I've said this for 2 weeks now. We both have said this for weeks now. So the fact is that Team USA basketball of 2024 is treating Jason Tatum like the Dream Team treated Christian Laettner. And I'm going to tell you right now, I bet you Christian Laettner got more minutes in game 1 of the 92 Olympic Games than Jason Tatum did. So yes, I'm going to say it. Steve Kerr, who called himself an idiot.
No arguments there, Steve.
Okay? You are an idiot, Steve. But Jason Tatum getting the Christian Laettner treatment, and I have no other way to say it. This is one of the best players in the league. 2 of his own teammates played more minutes than him. He got Laettnered. Tatum got Laettnered. And I'm not sure if you looked that up. Do we know what Christian Laettner did? I'm curious what Christian Laettner did in the first game, or how he did. And while you're doing that, Skaz, and everybody's listening so intently, we have a giveaway. Caller number 10 right now to our contest line at 617-931-0985 will score a 4-pack of passes to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame and their newest exhibit, The Vault, featuring the legendary 18-time NBA champion Boston Celtics. Experience the dynasty for yourself at the Hall of Fame. You can learn more at hoophall.com. You want to get those. So be caller number 10 right now. But yes, Jason Tatum is being treated like Christian Laettner.
I can't find his minutes for the first game, but he played 8 games and averaged 7.6 minutes.
It's more than Tatum did yesterday. Like, Laettner could get 6 minutes a game, but Tatum got none. I wish there was a way that I could say I'm okay with the best player on the Celtics not playing. I don't want to call it a meaningless game. By the way, he already has a gold medal. He doesn't need another gold.
Yeah, that was a weird thing I kept saying yesterday, too. Like, Tatum's Olympic, like, they're waiting his Olympic debut or whatever. It's like, no, the guy was the second best player in 2020. It was him and Kevin Durant that basically carried that team to a gold medal. So, the Steve Kerr, it's just, there's no reason for it. So, that's why the conspiracy theories come into play. Joe, who was first team All-NBA this year in the NBA?
That would be Jason Tatum.
Who else, though? Who were the other 4 guys?
Oh, did you see Joel Embiid yesterday, by the way?
Not first team All-NBA.
No, I know, but did you see how he was? They were a plus 38 without him.
Yeah, he's been awful.
He's terrible. Oh, and was it a Jokic thing? Was that why he didn't play?
Oh, you got to start Devin Booker for 26 minutes at small forward because that's the position he plays.
That's
and
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It's
makes a lot of
weird.
sense.
It's weird.
No,
it's
Joe,
a conspiracy.
Where I'm going with this is 2024 All-NBA first team. Giannis.
Yep.
Greece.
Yep.
SGA.
Yep.
Canadian.
Mm-hmm.
Jokic. Serbian.
Oh, okay.
Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
Slovenian.
Yep.
One American basketball player.
One.
All-NBA first team. Was it his first time being All-NBA first team?
Nope.
No. 3 in a row, coming off a title. You can't find 5 minutes for the guy. And then we're going to say after the game, well, it's tough, 40 minutes. Something is going on. I think my biggest takeaway is this is a good thing for the Celtics. They're pissed off. They're motivated. Good. I like it. Give them an edge. Everyone in this city, everyone in NBA has been saying Jason Tatum has no edge. Well, if this doesn't give it to him, I don't know what's going to. So that's another thing. And then Steve Kerr giving us we had to get Durant involved. And then we get the narratives, Jason Tatum he doesn't pass enough. He doesn't fit the offense. He averaged, I think, like the second lead, basically the way to put it, to simple it down, is Tatum averaged the second least dribbles per touch on the Celtics last year. So no, he does not need the ball in his hands. So the whole thing, Steve Kerr, it's all just word salad. He's just having diarrhea of the mouth. There is no reason for it.
There's no reason he didn't play. And Iron Bine in our chat says, please, no conspiracy theories. Well, we didn't bring it up. We didn't start it. They did it. They boycotted Jaylen Brown for his freedom of speech. What, he doesn't have an association with Nike and said something about the owner? He can't be on the team now? And then Jason Tatum, they win a championship. They do the Nike ad right away. First commercial, Nike ad. Did he stick up for his teammate? Did he say something? Is he being punished for that? Because if that's the case, I hope he goes home. Cough, cough. Cough, 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 cough. Go home.
Starting to understand Michael Jordan a little bit more, too, after all of this.
Oh, yeah. What did Michael Jordan do to Steve Kerr?
He may have punched him right in the face.
Punched him right in the face. You know why? Because he's an idiot. He said it. I didn't. He said he was an idiot.
Not saying Jason Tatum should go that far, but he has every right to be pissed. And, the other thing, too, is Jason Tatum, I'm not going to say he's doing them a favor. It's an honor to be there for Team USA. It's a great honor. But it's not an honor when you are coming off a championship.
When you're embarrassed.
You're embarrassed. You just
in
played
front of your colleagues.
You've played
friends,
more minutes in the NBA over the last 5
country?
years than anybody else. He's played the most minutes of anybody in the league the last 5 years with the playoffs and everything. He says, you know what? I don't care about my summer. I want to go. I want to play for my country. It's an honor. You bench the guy, first team All-NBA, the only American that's first team All-NBA. Just give us a reason, Steve.
Here's the deal.
Give us a real reason.
If he was late and you're punishing him for it, say it. Say it. Because now you got me comparing him to Christian Laettner. Can we get 300 words out of that?
Oh, yeah.
Team USA treats Jason Tatum like Christian Laettner.
Treating him like Isaiah Thomas. They should have left him on if they were going to do this.
Does the league hate the Celtics now?
I hope so.
Please. But, like, what's up with this? Like, did you see how many minutes Holiday played and started yesterday? And Derek White played.
Derek, they look good. They look great.
Yeah. Jason Tatum treated like Leitner. Skaz says no. More like Isaiah Thomas. Love you, Joe, but JT not playing has nothing to do with the guys ahead of him. JT will play the next game. What do you mean, sir? He didn't play. What, guys ahead of him, they won by 20. You couldn't get a scrub minute in there? All the scrubs play when you're up by 20.
No, we had to see Devin Booker play small forward for 27 minutes. And you know what the worst part about this is, Joe? Is that I don't care how many minutes these guys play in the Olympics. But when you play 0, it's a story. Like if Tatum played 10 minutes, would we be even mentioning it today?
If Tatum played for a second, we wouldn't talk about it. Steve Kerr.
Got to get Joel Embiid. Got to start Joel Embiid, though. Got to start him.
The basketball move. The basketball move. The basketball move. The basketball move. The basketball. I want to stuff you like a basketball. All right, that guy pisses me off. I don't know what it is. I think, and you know what? Dennis Rodman the other day, sir. He said, "Oh, that Steve Kerr guy. He doesn't do anything." I love that. Like I like this. What does he do? What do
you do?
Steve Kerr, you're a chunky.
It's a chunky. Uh-oh, you got a chunky.
We got to get to the headlines. Your calls next.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, to the Revolution. Play here. WBZ-FM and
Matthew Judon. Drake May struggled in his first day of practice. They'll be back at it tomorrow. Also, Christian Barmore, unfortunately, dealing with blood clots, out indefinitely. The Red Sox made a trade today. They acquired Quinn Priester. Tough last name. But he was acquired for Nick York. I almost said Nick Folk. Who would you rather have? I'd rather take Nick Folk. He's been optioned to AAA already. The Sox taking on Seattle. And Pipes O'Neill, right on key. He hit that ball so hard down the line it bounced off the green monster, so you could really only get 2 out of that one. But they're already up 5-0, and the umps really screwed Seattle. In Team USA, with Coach Steve Kerr, who once was punched in the face by Michael Jordan, says Jason Tatum will play in the next game. Why? Because he said he was an idiot. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here. 98.5. The Sports Hub.
All right, back here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll take your calls all night long. The one I got is love you, Joe, but JT not playing has nothing to do with the guys ahead of him. Well, I didn't say anything about the guys ahead of him. But, like, he didn't play any minutes. It's weird. It's very weird. Very, very weird. Let's talk to Adam. He's got a theory. I love theories, Adam.
I don't have a whole lot of theories out here. I like Jason Tatum as much as the next guy, and I think he deserves minutes. I'm just saying the second he doesn't play in the game, we go straight to conspiracy. What's going on with Tyrese Halliburton? Why did he get no minutes? He wasn't speaking up on Jaylen Brown's behalf. Just want to hear your thoughts on that, because Jason Tatum's not alone on that. He did speak out. But Halliburton also got no minutes, and he's also a solid player in this league. Not Tatum level, but still up there.
Yeah, my takeaway on that would be he's a guard. They're a guard-heavy team. Steve Kerr rolls out 3 guards. That's why Devin Booker was playing small forward. So you could say that the guard rotation is too much there, and Halliburton didn't get any minutes. But you could have the same argument for Halliburton that you have for Tatum. I just think Tatum's a better player with more accolades. So if you're going to start the conversation, it starts with Tatum.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care if Tyrese Halliburton didn't play. I care that Jason Tatum didn't play. I don't need an answer of why Halliburton didn't play. But wasn't he dealing with like a hamstring or something? I don't know.
Well, he missed games against the Celtics, didn't he?
Playoff games. You know why? Because they wore them down. Because the path was so easy that they wore them down. Rich is in Burlington. Hi, Rich.
How's it going? Yeah, so I'm not necessarily a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but I do have a juicy little nugget to add to the conspiracy theory, starting with Jaylen Brown, his whole situation with Nike. So we all know Nike is a part of the team. They're, I think, the number one funder behind USA basketball.
Correct.
So you guys have been talking a lot about Devin Booker. This morning, I opened the Nike app to see if there was any new stuff that came out, and I haven't seen this or heard anyone talk about this, but do you guys know what came out this morning?
Was it a Devin Booker new sneaker?
Devin Booker's first signature sneaker with Nike, the Book 1, was released today.
Oh, so they wanted him to play more. So tomorrow when it came out, they can be like, Devin Booker played 25 minutes.
Yes, that's why Devin Booker,
again, not a basketball reason, right? Because that's what they said.
Not a basketball reason.
These sneakers kind of suck. You like these things?
That's a pretty juicy nugget.
Yeah, Rich in Burlington, I'll give you all the credit in the world, sir.
Yeah, you're wrong, but...
What do you mean?
Devin Booker's signature shoe came out in 2023. So this may have been a new release of a shoe, but it's not his first signature shoe.
I'm reading Nike debuts first shoe and Devin Booker partnership. July 15th is what I saw. According to the press release.
Nike Book 1 release date, April 2024.
Oh, okay. Well, Rich in Burlington, that's why it hasn't been sourced yet. And if you're
He's had shoes come out in December, February.
Yeah.
Love the conspiracy theory. You just
I will take a good theory all day long. I'll take a good one. And Grant Hill spoke too. So we'll get to that later on here on the show. Booker had 14 points, 5 assists, so don't know what he talking about. And not his first shoe. That's what someone if you can translate that, guys. It's not his first shoe is what I would translate that as. That is from Andrew. I've called in 6 times, busy signal. You know why? Because we got loaded phone lines always. Always. Justin's in Lynn. Justin!
Hey, Joe.
How you doing?
I have an update for you. I heard if Charlie Furman does not sign, that he might
be... Hang on. Oh, I lost him. Justin, your dogs or something were barking. You ever see someone take off their shoes and they're like, man, my dogs are barking?
It's a big term on the golf course when you're getting late in the round.
Oh, yeah? The dogs are barking?
If you're walking 18, someone will drop it at some point.
Yeah. Hey, we're going to talk to Sammy P coming up. I believe he's at Fox Sports now. Nesson got rid of that gambling show, and that kind of upsets me. You know, because I like gambling. Oh, by the way, today it just got debuted. The Sun Belt preview.
Thought you were going to say Devin Booker's shoe.
No. Facts. We talking facts. It is now posted to 985thesportshub.com. Dan Lifshatz and I did the Sun Belt Conference preview. The favorite is Appalachian State. Solid. Texas State. We're familiar with them. And then Marshall, Coastal Carolina, just a couple of other teams in the mix there.
I feel like Coastal, aren't they usually pretty good? I feel like
Taking
that's
a
a little
step back.
low for them, yeah. Your boy's not there anymore.
Grayson McCall transferred, unfortunately.
Where's he at now?
I feel like I should know where every single...
That's your guy.
I like Grayson McCall. I think he can play. He's at NC State, who has a great defense, by the way.
Yeah, they produce some quarterbacks.
Oh, he could. Oh,
Russell Wilson, Jacoby.
That's what they call it. Mike Glennon with the big name.
Mike Glennon.
Russell Wilson played there, then transferred to Wisconsin his final year. We'll talk to Sam Panovich coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
Michael Feldman from Feldman Geospatial with Veronica from Long Live Roxbury, a new brewery and tap room near Boston's South End.
At Long Live, we're focused on hazy IPAs, crisp lagers, fruited sours, and delicious pastry stouts. Open
the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Let's talk to Sammy P. His name is Sam Panovich. He formerly of Nesson, now doing work with Fox Sports, and he joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hello, Sammy. How are you, sir?
Big Joe, doing good, my man. Just getting back into town, and it's amazing. When I left Boston, the Patriots had bums for receivers, but I went through Twitter today, man. I think they got, 2 Hall of Famers now after a couple catches at practice? Woo!
I was at camp yesterday. I was down there. I did talk to Pop Douglas. He's cool.
Okay, I don't care if he's cool. Can he catch the ball in an NFL game?
He can. Can he stay healthy? I don't know. The Madden ratings came out for the wide receivers, though. Do you want to hear them?
I sent them to you, buddy.
Oh, you did?
I texted them to you.
Oh, I have not looked at my texts.
Wow.
No, I don't have it.
Are you one of those 300 unread messages, guys?
Oh, I see it now.
Did you see my comment at the end?
But they're all making amazing catches at training camp.
Uh-huh.
So Kendrick Bourne an 80. Juju Smith's a sad 77 because he wears number 7. So I asked Pop Douglas how he felt about the team being ranked the worst wide receiver group, and he said he wanted to retweet it, but he said the young guys did, which I don't know if that's cool or not. But do you think they're the worst wide receiver group in the league?
On paper, they are. I think it tells a lot, though. And look, I don't want to give the beat writers that much flack. I know you're going to talk to Evan in the next hour about Patriots and all that. I think it says a lot, though, that people are so excited for high-level catches. Let's call them high-level. I'm not at amazing, outstanding, exceptional. The one catch I saw today, I forget who put it out there from the other radio station, was like, look at this amazing catch. And I'm like, that's a catch that literally 90% of receivers make. I think it says a lot, though, that's how bad things were last year when I believe Pop Douglas was the leading receiver with, 580 yards or something like that. There's more talent, but these are still, these receivers making these catches, these are young guys. Polk's a rookie. Javon Baker's a rookie. To expect a training camp catch to translate into NFL success is silly. And yes, to answer your question, this is the weakest receiving core in the league. They still might be better than last year, though, because last year's team was a joke in the receiver room. They were just putrid.
Oh, I've already bet them to be the worst team in the league this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I got plus 345, lowest amount of wins in the league.
That's come down, too. In the summer, it was 5-1.
Whoa.
So that's been whacked a couple of times. Yeah, I'm seeing some books even in the 280, 290 range. So you got a good bet there. You beat the closing line for sure. I just look at these numbers. These are staggering. The Patriots are 10-1 to make the playoffs, 30-1 to win the AFC East, 125-1 to win the AFC, and almost 300-1 to win the Super Bowl. We haven't talked about numbers that big on New England since the last century. And I just did my numbers for all 17 regular season games. Again, things could change, and maybe Drake May takes over earlier and he plays out of this world. But as of today, July 29th, I have the Patriots favored in only 2 games.
Wow, they're not favored in any game at the moment.
Well, they're a small favorite at home against Seattle, and they're a small favorite at home against Indianapolis. I actually think they're going to be favored in those games because you got Anthony Richardson coming out here. That game was probably December. That's not going to be a good game for them, for the Colts. And then, look, they're a pick-em, basically, against the Seahawks in week 2. So I made New England a small favorite against Seattle and a small favorite against Indy. But they are dogs in most games, and they are not 1-point dogs or 2-point dogs. They're over a field goal, near a touchdown in a lot of these games. So the numbers don't lie. And to be favored, let's call it 1. Let's meet in the middle at 1. You got them at 0. I got them at 2. Favored one time is pretty bad.
It's bad. I'm under 5, though. I got it at 5.5. I think it's 4.5. some places. Just to throw out another team with an interesting wide receiver group, how do you feel about the Buffalo Bills? And I know Curtis Samuel is a pretty good wide receiver, but after that, man, it's, Keon Coleman, a rookie, Khalil Shakir, right? And then what, Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Not as good as it was on paper last year, but remember, Diggs is one of those guys that has sort of quit on two organizations now, Stephon Diggs. He quit on Minnesota. He kind of quit on Buffalo last year because he wasn't getting the ball. So from a talent perspective, sure, they're not as good. I love their rookie, though, Keon Coleman. That kid's a stud from Florida State. Big old monster at wide receiver. And he comes in like 6'4", 215, 220. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem for a lot of corners in the AFC East. But what they're going to do, and they got away from this under Ken Dorsey, because remember, when Dable was there, they ran the ball a lot. He was their offensive coordinator. Dable goes to the Giants, and Ken Dorsey takes over calling the plays. And they threw the ball 65% of the time under Dorsey. Well, it didn't work. And he gets fired. They go back to Joe Brady. And remember, Joe Brady takes over last year. What did they do? They started running the ball again. And they got hot, and James Cook really carried the mail. That is a team that is better if they run first to set up the pass. Josh Allen's a very good quarterback, but he's not the type of quarterback that's going to sit back and throw 45, 50 times a game. I mean, he's not Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Tom Brady. He's not a pocket guy. He's a do-everything type of guy. And if they can run the ball, their line is really good. I like Coleman. Allen can do anything on a football field. If they can run the ball, their offense is going to be fine.
Were you out in Chicago? Is that where you were?
Maybe.
Just asking because how's Caleb Williams looking?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything. But that's another guy that, he's playing in no contact scrimmages. He threw a couple touchdowns today, from what I could gather. He threw one to Keenan Allen, one to Odunze, the rookie receiver. But the Chicago team is interesting because, they're already anointing him as the savior of the franchise. And usually that's not a good thing in the NFL. I mean, the pressure. Remember Trevor Lawrence is going to save Jacksonville, and then he went 2-14 in his first year, and Peyton Manning was going to save Indy. Although over time he did. Peyton Manning was awful his rookie year. Most quarterbacks are really bad. And the other thing that doesn't help Caleb Williams is that we all watched C.J. Stroud last year, and we're like, oh, yeah, Caleb will do that this year. The counter to that is that he is playing for a decent team relative to being the first overall pick. Usually, a first overall pick goes to a team that won 2 games, 3 games. He goes to a team that won 7 last year, and the problem was the offense. So if he can fix the offense, or at least reconfigure the offense, defense gets better, special teams gets better because your field position's better, I think he's going to be fine. But in terms of, being the MVP, I saw somebody tweet, oh, should we bet Caleb Williams to win the MVP? No, don't do that. It's a bad bet.
Okay. I don't really have much other NFL stuff for you, so I wanted to ask you a couple of college football things. Sam Panovich, Sammy P, we call him, SP Shoot, from Fox. I saw you post this, and I want to put some action on it. First head coach fired in college football this year. The favorite's Billy Napier, but I'm going Dave Aranda, Baylor. DeQuan Finn's coming in. I think he sucks, and I think Baylor's going down.
DeQuan Finn, MAC legend, DeQuan Finn.
That's
DeQuan
right.
Finn also can't stay on the field. He's got a concussion like every other week, so that's going to be a problem. I did find that list pretty interesting because 2 of the first 3 guys on that list are on a collision course for week 1. Florida plays Miami.
Oh, boy.
Right out of the gate. And both of those teams have been sort of last few years. The loser of that game probably becomes the favorite. Like, if Mario Cristobal and Miami lose to Florida week 1, that's bad.
Remember what he did last year, Cristobal? He ran the ball, they fumbled, and then lost.
That's happened a couple times, unfortunately. And that last year, Miami was undefeated at the time.
That's right.
Yeah, they were 4-0, I believe. I was at the game, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't have any action on the game because the spread was 19 or something. Yeah, they're 4-0, about to go 5-0 if they just take a knee. And they hand the ball off, kid fumbles, they lose that game, lose a tough one the next week, and then from there, they go from 4-0, potentially 5-0, to finishing 7-5. That loss sort of ruined their season. Not sort of, it did ruin their season. So it's a big season in Miami. I think Miami's actually a playoff team this year. I know Mario's a little scary, but on that list in terms of guys that get fired, how about Dabo, Clemson, 30-1, 25-1?
Oh, Dabo ain't getting fired.
What do you mean? What if they go 7-5?
Who could they find better than Dabo Swinney?
He doesn't even know the transfer portal exists.
Well, that is true, and that is not going to work in today's NFL, college football. Excuse me. So I agree.
I'm not saying you'll find somebody better than Dabo, and I'm not even saying Dabo should be fired. Number one, it's the number, 25-1. Okay, so Clemson wins. Look at Clemson's slate from 2015 on. 14 wins, 14, 12, 15, 14, 10, 10, 11. Last year, they go 9-4 and play in the Gator Bowl. If they go 6-7 wins this year because the ACC has caught up, that's not the craziest idea in the world. But if they go 6-6 or 7-5, he gets launched.
Are you out on UCLA now after Deshaun Foster's media day?
I was watching that line move during the press conference.
We played that. I could not stop laughing the other. It was so funny.
I just don't, they're asking him to talk about himself and his program, and he's like, "We are in Los Angeles," and pause for, really bad. It's hard to believe that he's going to have a lot of strong game plans because he wasn't prepared for a press conference. Although talking in front of strangers and coaching a football team a little bit different. I'm indifferent. I mean, their win total's already been bet down from 6 to 4.5, 4. And their week, I don't know if it's a week one game, but their first big game against Hawaii, UCLA opened 17.5, and now it's down to 13. So, yeah, people have definitely bet anti-UCLA stuff.
What about
after that press?
What about Lincoln Riley getting canned?
Oh, we're back to that. What's the price?
I just someone tweeted at me. Lincoln Riley,
25-1.
Yeah.
The problem is, I don't think they're gonna fire somebody. One of these coaches is gonna get fired in November. I don't think Clemson would belong. Now that I say that, I don't think they're gonna fire Dabo in season. The only way they fire Dabo, Lincoln Riley in season is if those guys start 0-4, and it just can't happen because they don't play anybody early for the most part.
You have any Red Sox takes?
They suck.
Really?
Yeah, man. They don't beat good teams. They lose 2 out of 3 again to the Yankees. Yankees haven't been playing good ball.
They're winning 10-1 right now.
Who are they playing?
Seattle.
Seattle can't hit.
They can't.
So my thing was going into the Yankee series, I want to say the Red Sox were 25-34 against teams with winning records. So now that's 25-36, 11 games under against good teams. I think they don't suck. It's just people get really excited when the Red Sox aren't in last place, and that's happened a lot since I moved to Boston. I don't trust their pitching staff. I mean, who's the ace of the team right now? Who's starting game 1 of the playoffs if they make it?
Hulkamania.
Okay, all right. I like Houck. After that, I have a lot of questions. Pivetta, they're talking about maybe moving Pivetta to the bullpen. And he was maybe your most stable starter the last 2 years. Bayo is not ready for the moment. I mean, they're trading for James Paxton because they need depth. He's not a playoff guy. I did see a report today that, and again, these reports on social only go so far, but they were linking Jack Flaherty to the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier, but it looks like the Yankees are now in.
Oh, God. Good luck with that. A bidding war with the Yankees. But here's the thing about the Red Sox. The Red Sox are ahead of schedule. The Red Sox probably shouldn't mortgage the future to win now. But Red Sox fans are kind of funny. And I dealt with this in Chicago when they had the Bryants and Rizzos and Schwarbers and Javi Baez's and, you got to keep all the prospects. That team only won 1 championship. And, I remember being in Nesson last summer and Juan Soto was available for trade, and there were a lot of people from Boston, diehard Red Sox fans, that go, "You can't trade Rafaela for Soto." I go, "What, are you out of your mind? You don't want to trade a prospect for the best player in the National League right now?"
Remember Yohan Moncada for Chris Sale?
Dude, I just don't get it. 60% of prospects bust, maybe even more. So they talk about the big 3 or whatever. One of those guys is never going to make it. and maybe one of them becomes a perennial all-star. I don't know which one it is. I don't study them well enough. But if you have 3 hot prospects, and those are the 3 guys they keep talking about, Breslow, Kennedy, they talk about the next wave. Of those 3 guys, one of them is going to be an impact guy. Do the numbers just tell you that? Like, one of those guys will be a lifetime Red Sox player. So when we had that argument last year, would you trade Rafaela for Soto? Like a package around Rafaela? Can't trade Rafaela? Why not? Why can't you trade Rafaela?
He's fine, but he ain't Soto.
Nobody's Soto. You can't trade prospects, though.
That's
the whole prospect.
That was a Chaim Bloom issue, though.
Well, I don't think Breslow is going to be making blockbuster trades either, buddy.
Well, they need to do something, I think. I think the Cora extension is very interesting. And I just feel like Cora doesn't sign that deal if he doesn't have some sort of assurance.
I always thought he had sort of an aspiration to go to the front office. He didn't tell me that. I'm not trying to break news on your program. I don't think he wants to be in the dugout forever.
Well, that's why he signed for 3 years. Yeah, there's some thoughts that maybe in 3 years he becomes the general manager.
I mean, they clearly like him. They bring him back after what happened in Houston. He wins a World Series. I mean, they clearly respect him. They love Alex Cora over there at Fenway. So, I think he's got sort of an elevation plan in progress. We see this from time to time, especially in college, when a coach goes from the head man to the AD, like Barry Alvarez did at Wisconsin. Like, you've had enough coaching. Now you want to just be the guy. And it makes sense. But in terms of, like, the Red Sox, to make the playoffs, win the pennant, I'm not doing that. The only bet I made, Boston-related, in the last 48 hours. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Jason Tatum to win the MVP, 30-1.
Oh, you mean Jason Tatum, the guy that did not play in an Olympic game, getting the Christian Laettner treatment? That guy?
That guy. Yeah, I was listening to Skaz quiz you on the 5 all-first-teamers. And I love that. I didn't realize he was the only American to be first team.
There you go. See, you listening. I like that.
Buddy, I'm everywhere.
All
30-1. Talk me out of 30-1 on that.
I won't, because he should get it. And he's the best player on the best team in the league, and at some point that should come down to it. It brings up another question, because I do have a food question for you as well.
Okay.
But if you had a choice to who's the bigger idiot, Steve Kerr or Dabo Sweeney?
Man, those are 2 really comparable cats. I mean, they both have multiple championships.
Yep.
I think what Dabo had, the fact that he didn't channel it, makes him a bigger idiot right now, because Clemson has been a wide receiver or 2 away from being national title good.
He should have went to Alabama when Saban left. He should have just went.
Are you answering the question, or am I answering the question?
Ball buster.
Who would you rather punch in the face, Dabo or Kerr?
Well, Michael Jordan already punched Kerr in the face, so, like, Dabo just has that look. Like, he looks like a cartoon character. So, I'm asking you the question. I asked you first.
I think Dabo is a bigger idiot.
Okay.
Let me just say this. I hate when Steve Kerr starts talking politics. That's when he loses me.
I'm out on politics to begin with. Anyone.
I don't care what Steve Kerr's politics are. Shut up.
I don't care at all about him. At all. And Dennis Rodman the other day threw some shade at him. So I appreciated that. You have a controversial thing on your Twitter handle. Happy National Chicken Wing Day. What is the ultimate chicken wing flavor?
It's buffalo. Hot. Easy.
The options were buffalo, barbecue, and salt and pepper, which I never do. Is there another?
I thought that was one of the easiest questions to answer. It's buffalo. So it's a hot wing.
Are we missing one?
The lemon pepper at Buffs?
I like the garlic parm.
It's lemon pepper garlic parm. It's the one I always get at Buffs.
I owe you still.
I know. At this point, I'm just holding out for the chance that you pay this off eventually.
No, I will.
And Skaz owes me drinks too. This whole show owes me.
We're gonna have a Sammy P day with the night show.
Yeah, we could do that. You know that?
I might not be around much
I
longer.
was
boys.
going to
We
say,
gotta get that in.
maybe we could have a Sammy P.
A Sammy send-off?
A Sammy P party. Like P for party.
Is that what it's for?
That's what it's for.
It's for Patriots.
Oh, Patriots. There we go. Anything else on your mind? How is Pan Pizza Poppy?
Oh, he's great. Yeah, he did the homemades again, the pizzas, outstanding. He's got to get back in there before football season for you guys.
Somebody I met, I forget where it was, told me that they go to the Greatest and they love the chef there. And I couldn't remember his first name, and I kept calling him Pan Pizza Poppy, the redhead, and nobody knew what I was talking about.
So I met somebody, to counter that real quick, I met somebody out 2 weeks ago, and they go, I know you. And I'm thinking, okay, like this could go any which way. I go, how do you know me? You were on 98.5 with the Pan Pizza Poppy. You were on Joe Murray's show. I go, yeah, that was me.
Dude, it's wild, huh? The reach of this radio station.
It's a damn powerhouse, man.
It's just, it has layers upon layers, and somehow the food thing is what people remember the most. What didn't we talk about tonight? Anything else?
I think we covered it all. You have the most unique show in Boston radio. You know that, though.
You know why? Because I have to. But also, you know me outside of radio. Isn't this me on and off?
Yeah, you're kind of like a space cadet. Like you can't stay focused.
Yes.
You're talking about the Patriots. And you're like, Reese's Pieces are a bunch of crunch. I'm just like, dude, how does he do that? How does he pivot so fast?
I don't know. It's Skaz. And do you have a song of the summer? Is there one song you heard this summer that just slaps?
No.
Nothing, huh?
No, I'm too busy gambling on Russian table tennis to listen to Top 40. Sorry.
What is on the Olympics right now? There's this like crazy wild water thing going on. They're sitting on like surfboards and they have helmets on. Why do you have a helmet on in the water?
Why are you wearing a mask in a car by yourself? Nobody does.
Who wears a helmet in the water?
Who wears a mask in the car by themselves?
What is this sport, though? It's like a tidal wave thing going.
You're the one watching it. You should tell me.
That's why we wanted to have you on tonight, Sammy.
Bring back Global Guts. Remember Global Guts?
Oh, yeah. I like, remember the TV show? Well, it's on Nickelodeon. And then there was that Temple of the Doom thing. Or Temple.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then
with Olmec, the big talking rock.
And Salute Your Shorts was always one of my favorites.
So many good shows. No, it's all garbage.
It's all garbage now. Did you eat any of the stuff that people, when you tweet your food, do you eat any of this stuff?
Anything I tweet, I eat.
Okay. This is a smoked brisket cheesesteak from Philly. A chicken cheese.
Oh, I haven't had that yet. I saw that and almost fainted because of how good it looked. No, I have not. I didn't tweet that, though. I retweeted it.
Well, it looks great.
Did I just lie on your show? I said I tweet everything I eat. I didn't.
It's okay.
I didn't eat that.
So Lifshatz and I have done the MAC conference and the Sun Belt. Have you looked into any of those conferences yet?
Yeah, I'm Ball State over 3.5.
Okay.
It's a much better team this year. They bring back almost the entire offense, and I do like Buffalo's schedule.
Yeah,
I also like Buffalo's.
I was high on Buffalo as well.
Yeah, Buffalo and Ball State would be my two overs. I didn't get in the Sun Belt yet. I actually was about to listen to you and Dan talk about it when we get done. But
well, thank you.
I do like Ball State over 3.5. A lot of books are at 4 now. That's a bowl team this year. Ball State, the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's make or break for them. They need to get it together at some point, or that coach is fired. That was a take we had on the show.
Don't spoil it, Joe.
I won't. Chicken dinner, is that getting going again?
Oh yeah, we're coming out hot with 2 episodes a week, starting in late August, and I'm actually, the next time we talk, I will be on the back end of a 6-night trip in Vegas. Wish me luck.
I would like to talk to you on the last leg of that, if that's cool.
Oh, that's fine. No, you know me. I got like 6 gears. I'll be fine.
I would. When is this again? I would like to put it in the on.
Let's see. I will be there August 5th to 11th. So that Friday, I think, would be the 9th.
Okay. I am putting Sammy P on my agenda. Sammy P. For some reason, you're already in my phone for the 18th.
Oh, that's the cookout at the house.
Ah, okay then. I got you the 9th and the 18th on my calendar. How's that sound?
That's too much of me, man.
Yeah, but I sometimes can't get enough of you.
Okay.
We even went 5 minutes, well, really 15 minutes later to talk to you, but it was good. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, you were out of questions at 8:30. Look at us now.
I know. I'm still watching the Olympics of the sports that I don't know what they are. And then when they mess up, I'm like, that guy. It's like that Costanza
we're all laying
meme.
around eating powdered donuts on the couch going, oh, what a loser, right?
It's the
like
Costanza
crumbs
meme.
everywhere.
I just was the Costanza meme, literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Just now. He's Sammy Panovich. Everybody go follow him, SP Shoot, Chicken Dinner, Fox. Sammy, we'll talk to you soon, sir. Enjoy Vegas.
Peace out, buddy. See you later.
He's Sammy P, everybody. We went long because it was fun, because there isn't much else to talk about besides the Patriots and Matthew Judon and Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And speaking of Jaylen Brown, why don't we just tell you what Grant Hill said next after the headlines?
Sports Hub headlines.
on the Sports Hall.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Are you in or out? Gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is guaranteed. Way too far. I'm just a guy who just...
He's been proven right, though.
Well, yes. But what if you get a chance, just type in Ibiza.
I just watched the video, and it is... it's interesting.
Did you see the woman go, whoa?
Yeah,
she was like the only one who saw it.
Something's going on there. It looks like a flash of light just shoots across the sky.
In on aliens all the time. And Christina's in. The chat is kind of in. 420 Fishing is in on aliens. Cool. Jeff Williams is in there. Tom was right.
All right, Joe, we'll head to a friend of the show, a common Twitter user, John, tweeted this in over the weekend. I believe he might even have tagged Jeff in this one as well. He was at a local gas station, it looks like, and he was at the Icy machine, your classic blue and red Icy machine. But they had a Fruit Loops Icy. So, Joe Murray, are you in or out on the Fruit Loops Icy?
In. Give me the milk.
What's the best cereal to drink the milk after?
Oh, man.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Reese's Puffs? I'm trying to think.
You know what's really good? It's very plain. Frosted Flakes.
That's just sugar. It's just sugar. You're just drinking sugar. You can't go wrong there.
Oh, Apple Smacks was pretty good. Now, you know what? This place I like, this restaurant. It's a breakfast place. It's called Cracked with a D. My buddy Rob up at the one in Peabody, they have a, you can buy milk as like whatever cereal that you want. So you can just get the drink of whatever the cereal is.
I think I'm in on that.
Amen. I'd have to, maybe we could do a ranking some night. Apple Jacks. Frosted Flakes, though, baby, all day long. Always.
All right, Joe, we'll head to the New York Post for this one. This was a headline I saw over the weekend. It states that champagne sales are slumping due to lack of celebrations and joy in the world. Joe, are you in or out on champagne sales slumping due to lack of joy in the world?
Ouch. There's always a need for champagne. Bottle above is always a good little, gift. But you know what I've done now? Because I have champagne taste, beer budget kind of thing going. Give me the Prosecco. Just as good as champagne. So that's the reason why the sales are down. Your champagne's too expensive. When I go to a wedding, bro, that's all I drink. True story. I went to a wedding. Is that Tyler Milliken they're interviewing up there? They've been talking to some guy for a while up there at the Monster. Look, that looks like Tyler, right?
A little bit. A little bit like Milliken. He's got a shirt on, though.
Like, who is that guy? Why are you guys talking to him? 12-2? You got to talk to people in the stands?
If they need anything, Joe.
They should just pick up our show. Like when Red Sox season ends, can they just pick up our show? Anyways, I love champagne. I went to a wedding once, and I go, oh, do you guys have champagne? And I got 2 glasses every single time. Every time. And they were like, oh, you're the only one drinking champagne. I was like, oh, great. So when I went up, right before the end of the night, they were like, you were the only one who had champagne all night, and you drank 3 bottles. I went, oh, boy.
You're feeling good.
They gave me a whole bottle to myself.
Make it number 4.
Baby. Drank it in the after party. I was drinking it like David Ortiz. The only thing I was missing was the goggles. But no, it is too expensive. I go Prosecco now, though.
Yeah, that's just big champagne trying to boost the numbers.
You know what another thing is? A man in our chat, Derek, he says everyone's smoking weed now. That's right.
Weren't people always doing
Yeah,
that?
but like, I don't know, like, would you do? Yes, crunk, man. Weed and water is good. Okay.
All right, Joe. We'll wrap up Monday edition of In or Out with this
No,
one.
I want more. What else?
All right, we got a couple more then. Christina put this one in earlier today.
Okay.
Big box retailers have started peddling Halloween products in July, the earliest ever amid Summerween craze. Joe, are you in or out on Summerween?
Out. And you know where I saw this week? Liberty Tree Mall. Coming off of Endicott Street. One of these old stores is out of business, so it's now a Spirit Halloween,
which happens to every store.
Yeah, and so it was already up, like July 25th.
Out.
Spirit Halloween.
Out.
Summerween.
Out.
What? Now the only half holiday I like is halfway to St. Patrick's Day.
I like Christmas in July sometimes. You see a Christmas movie.
No. I don't need Halloween July 25th. We're going to wear costumes to the beach? Put some face paint on? Dress up like sharks? Out! Ball is flying out of the yard tonight, let me tell you. Did you see Willier Abreu go into the stands? He couldn't catch a ball either. Between him and Pipes?
Give him an A for effort, though. Execution, not so much, but A for effort.
I could give that effort, too. I'm taller than him, I bet. I could have reached over. I don't have the legs like him, though. What else we got? Out on Summerween? Out!
All right, Joe, some big news over the weekend if you're a Marvel fan. I know one Jeremy Conley was
I talked to him about it yesterday.
Dialed into this news, and that would be that Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., is coming back to Marvel as a villain. This is very WWE, Joe. He's coming back as Dr. Doom.
Turning heel.
Joe, are you in or out on Robert Downey Jr.?
In. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the best actors going. And he likes Marvels. He actually opened up... They must have done this recently because he did an interview where he said he would come back. In on this. In. And it's going to get me to watch, by the way. And
who is the most famous, good guy turned heel? WWE.
Hulk Hogan.
No, not even a question.
So Bret Hart, one time in the 90s, turned heel. He didn't want to turn heel because he had the highest merchandise. And Vince goes, no. Just turn heel in the United States. You can be a face in Canada. And so he did that. And, he didn't want to do it, but it ended up turning into him versus brother, and it was just great. He also beat his brother-in-law, the British Bulldog, at SummerSlam because he married Bret's sister and beat Bret to win the Intercontinental Championship. Jeff Williams, Bret Hart's heel rubbing. Hogan was the biggest. It changed the game. And I'm still waiting on that Cena one.
I know, you want that for his last year.
I don't think it will ever happen. The heel run was 97. Thanks, Jeff Williams. I actually watched his documentary last night and Ted DiBiase's and Paul Heyman's. I watched 3. I was sucked in. Next week, SummerSlam.
Oh, so you're getting ready. Where is SummerSlam this year?
Don't know. Let's guess. SummerSlam 2024 location.
Florida. That's probably too hot.
Cleveland.
Oof.
I didn't have that on the bingo board.
No, certainly not.
Steve Austin's heel turn, he was the anti-hero. So, he could be a heel any day he wanted to be. Did we do it on this show? Green Day versus...
Yes.
Blink? Okay.
Yeah. Green Day versus Blink.
I got a lot of that this weekend.
People were into that one.
Got a lot of that. Anything else tonight?
We'll end with this one. Why not? Scientists are now telling us that drinking on airplanes is dangerous and bad for our health. Joe Murray, are you in or out?
Controversial.
Yeah, I mean, sure, if you drink too much, it's always bad, right?
Okay,
but
here's the deal.
now we're going to just say drinking on airplanes extra bad?
Because I work nights now and I don't have a lot of free time, I don't drink as often, so when I do, I sleep so well. So I can understand there's people who want the flight to get over fast and drinking on planes. My whole thing is I just don't want to have to use the bathroom because I can't fit in it. So I don't drink on planes because it's not good for my health. So I'm going to say out.
Yeah, more of an edible guy for the flights, you know? Lock in. Just...
those Flintstone candies we had as kids. I'll pop those things.
Anything to make it go by a little quicker. Ease the anxiety.
Yeah, but I've never sat first class. I would love to sit first class. If anyone is listening that works at a JetBlue or anywhere, I have never been on first class, and I would like to. So if you give me one of those pods, I'll sleep on that thing. I'll drink if you want me to. Or is it free? I don't know. Anyways, I want to sit first class. I want to be first class. I want to be first class.
Never thought I'd fly first class when I flew to Chicago recently. Got there, said, hey, what's it to upgrade to first class? They were like, no one has really yet. So, they were like $45. I was like, all right, done. First class, see ya.
$45?
I mean, it wasn't anything crazy. It's short flight.
I'd give
but
them 50 and tell them to keep the change.
Own
Filthy animal.
bathroom. Yeah, not my own bathroom, but different bathroom, big seats. Yeah, it was. I'd do it every time if it was that cheap.
Goes back to that food on the plane. Did Tom Karen really go at James Stewart today?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that. We got a beef?
Let's do this on the other side. And we have the Grant Hill stuff, too. And we're going to talk to Evan Lazar. Did the show just get busy all of a sudden? I feel like we don't have enough time. We had so many more in or outs. We have to take a break and a headline and a top of the hour and a Hourly, and we'll do all that coming up next.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to.
Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub.
A Beasley Media Group station.
Sports Hub headlines.
Well, the Red Sox are winning 14-3 right now. They also made a trade today for Quinn Priester. He's a pitcher. And the Patriots had a practice today. We're going to talk to Evan Lazar coming up in a little bit about what happened there. Headlines were brought to you by Valvoline and Oil Change. Enjoy quick and convenient. Oh, I'm sorry. It's brought to you by Safety Insurance. Providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety.
Boston, the greatest sports town in America.
We have a farm. I have about 200 pigs here.
We get to spill beers on each other without worrying about spilling beers on people.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
All right, explain the philosophy of how you build the team that Jaylen Brown didn't make the roster, but his teammate Derek White does. What goes into that decision?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We went to training camp and we didn't have KD. KD was out, Kevin Durant, sort of coming back from a calf injury. And then Jason Tatum was late for arrival. He didn't show up the first 2 or 3 days. So, we ended up having to sort of play Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo together. And we didn't know if that would work. I think going into camp, we thought, let's have 3 centers, much like in 96 when we had Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, and Shaquille O'Neal. And we'll rotate. All 3 of them are different. They provide different things. And so we'll have sort of a 3-headed monster at the center position. But what we found, because we didn't have the numbers those first few days, was that Bam Adebayo and Anthony Davis can really play well together on both ends of the floor. And at times might be our best defensive lineup. So we kind of stumbled.
Jaylen Brown tweeted he'd take it down. But he goes, I don't appreciate Grant Hill saying it's a conspiracy. I'm not on the team. I'm paraphrasing. He goes, I've been a VP since I was in the league at 21 or something. And Skaz, I don't know how many times we have to go through the list of players that are representatives, but none of them are on Team USA.
Yeah, the Jaylen Brown tweet is still up. Grant Hill calling me a conspiracy theorist is disappointing. I've been a VP since I was 21 years old. I have a great understanding.
Is he complaining at all? Like, do you look at Jaylen as complaining?
Has he complained? I don't know if that's complaining. I think he's just responding.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, if he's spoken elsewhere and I haven't seen it, maybe he has complained, but I don't take that as a complaint. I take that as, hey, Grant Hill, what are we doing here?
Grant Hill and Steve Kerr, they better win the gold. They look foolish.
Yeah, I like when he talks about them having 3 centers trying to mimic the 96 team, because when I think of, basketball in 2024, the emphasis on the center position has never been more prevalent. What are we doing? What are we doing, Grant? Just tell us the truth. But they don't want to.
Cerrone made it a point to me yesterday that I'll if he sold it to me, so if he wants to look at it and say at the time he wanted to be a part of the Olympic team, he didn't make the pool, and they decided not to go with him, and had this great year, and he was just left off. He didn't earn it at the time. He was a great player, but he didn't, earn Team USA at the time.
What about Derek White, then?
That is a pushback that I agree with. But I'm talking about when the pool happened.
Yeah, Derek White was who when if Jaylen Brown wasn't good enough for the pool when it happened, how was Derek White? Would be my question.
The pool earlier in the year.
Yeah, so you're going to tell me Derek White was better than Jaylen Brown when they started the pool?
No.
And I'm not yelling at you, Joe.
No. It sounded better yesterday when we talked about it. At the time, was Jaylen Brown playing like a top premier player?
He was pretty good all year.
Okay.
I mean, was he not?
No, not this season. I'm talking last year when the pool stuff happened. So going into this season was when the pool was created, right?
So my point to that would just be, well, what about Derek White then?
Was he ever in the pool? I actually don't know.
No idea.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's kind of the point, though, right? Like, you're just blindly picking then, or?
I think that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown's being boycotted for comments, and Jason Tatum, for some reason, that they want to point to as basketball reasons.
Joe, we get called sensitive on this show, I believe, at times. We get called green teamers on this show at times. Team USA seems very, very sensitive right now.
Oh, yeah.
Very sensitive to narratives and conspiracy theories. So if they don't want to be viewed as sensitive, maybe just tell us the truth. Seems pretty simple to me, but it's not going to happen. And I think this is a great thing for the Celtics.
Okay. We'll have more on this. We're not done with this yet.
I wish we were, but we are not.
We're not. And when it came up yesterday, I went, oh, God. But it's content. Content. We love content. Speaking of content, we're going to talk to a content creator from Patriots.com. His name is Evan Lazar. I met him yesterday, and he's coming on the show tonight, and he'll be on next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub. Sports Hub.
All right, back here 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. We've done a little bit of everything tonight. We have musings at the end of the hour. I think we're back on track now. Maybe. Let's go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline right now. We'll welcome in Evan Lazar. I talked to Evan yesterday. I saw him. He is the senior reporter at Patriots.com and the Patriots Catch 22 pod. How you doing, Evan?
I'm doing well, Joe. How are you?
It's funny. We were talking about having you on, and then I saw you yesterday. I have my own thoughts on camp, but how was today, first day of pads, in your opinion, compared to just the other, I guess, 4 days of camp?
Yeah, well, I would just say that, it was a weird day, certainly with everything that was going on with Matthew Judon and Devon Godchaux, and then Jabril Peppers tweaked something 10 minutes into practice, and Josh Uche gets seemingly thrown out of practice. So it was kind of bizarre. But in terms of the results on the field, I actually thought this was a pretty solid day for the starting offense, the ones, if you will. The twos and threes we probably will get to, and it wasn't quite as clean. But I thought the ones offensively had a pretty solid day. They ran the ball pretty well on the Patriots defense, and they were also able to hit some throws down the field to Javon Baker and Tyquan Thornton that were encouraging. So the offensive line has started to stabilize a little bit with the same five guys for the most part out there with that top unit, and I'm encouraged. It's one day. We'll see what happens and if they can start stacking them, but it was an encouraging day, especially, I would say, for the offensive line.
All right, yep, let's get the trenches report. Let's talk about the line because, I was pretty critical. I watched them yesterday. They don't have pads on. So, can you really break them down? And I still thought that they were getting beat at times, but can you tell us what the five linemen were today and give us your trench report?
Yeah, sure. So from left to right, it was Caden Wallace, City So. Nick Leverett was the top center today because David Andrews was absent. Mike Onwenu, who's been at right guard for the most part all of training camp. Then at right tackle is Chuksa Okorafor. So those two tackles, maybe we thought going in would be flipped the other direction with Okorafor on the left side and Wallace on the right. But they seem to be pretty thrilled with what's going on with Caden Wallace, their third-round pick in this year's draft. I would say that he's on a fast track at this point to maybe be a day one starter, which I don't know if they thought he was going to be that when they drafted him. But bright kid, intelligent kid, talked to him yesterday. Really seems like he understands his flaws and his weaknesses and how to correct them and move forward. So there's a lot of praise from the players we've talked to. Talked to City So today, who's been entrenched at left guard all the way back to the spring. I mentioned Wallace the other day, and both those guys have said really good things about Scott Peters, the Patriots' new offensive line coach. So on one hand, you don't want to get too excited about one day in pads, but you look at the run game, they were able to break a few big runs, and like I mentioned, they were able to push the ball down the field a little bit, which tells you that the quarterback had some time. So it was a better day. Granted, I mentioned earlier that no Judon, obviously no Barmore, no Uche for the part of practice. So some of their best pass rushers weren't out there for the defense. But I thought the offensive line held its own, and I haven't really been able to say that very often over the last couple of years in a Patriots training camp practice that the offensive line actually did its job.
All right, talking to Evan Lazar, Patriots.com. I saw the guys doing their podcast yesterday overlooking the practice fields right next to our booth as well. So I'll just tell you a couple of things I noticed that were different, and maybe you've seen it before, but they were doing these drills with the receivers that were probably 30, 40 yards. One-on-one, the receivers or defensive backs. And I got a really good look at Javon Baker. He's an explosive kid who runs hard. So I'm curious why maybe he went a little bit later, maybe the school he went to. And do you think he has a shot to, when I say get reps, how many rookie receivers truly get reps with the Patriots over the years? But is he going to have to make an impact in the preseason to show that he can, hang around and take some big hits over the middle? Because he gets open right over the middle of the field, no doubt.
Yeah, that's exactly how I view him too, Joe. I was really excited when they drafted Javon Baker, maybe a little bit more even so than Jalen Polk, just because I'm the type of guy that wants to see guys that get open, that are dynamic route runners, that can attack the football and are good with the ball in their hands after the catch. And that's exactly what Javon Baker is. We see him climb the ladder like he did today in between two defenders and make a catch. But like you said, he can also pull away over the middle of the field and use his explosiveness in that way. So why did he slip in the draft? I think it's a combination of things. You mentioned the school. He started at Alabama and then didn't really carve out a role at Alabama and ended up transferring to Central Florida, and that's where he was a late bloomer and came on really strong in the last couple of years there at UCF. So in that Alabama wide receiver room, he wasn't really able to separate himself, which probably had some scouts maybe a little bit paused about his NFL future, just because if he can't separate himself in the best receiver room maybe in college football, then is he really going to make it at the NFL level? And I also think there are some things that's been reported on that have gone on off the field. Nothing major, but just little things here and there with his. We saw his attitude a little bit.
Interesting attitude, definitely. Yep.
Yeah, after the draft with the wheelchair comments and things like that. So I think a combination of those two things maybe led to him slipping a little bit. But in terms of pure talent, production at the college level, and UCF's in the Big 12 now, right? That's not a small school, non-Power 5 team anymore. So he was able to really take that conference by storm last year as the leading receiver in the conference. Talented kid. For the Patriots, I think number one thing is that they have to keep him on the rails, and keep his energy focused. But in terms of the pure ability or pure talent, I don't think there's any question about that.
All right, so let's have a low-level conversation regarding Drake May's performance today. When I watched yesterday, he's clearly he fits the bill of a quarterback, right? Big build, strong arm, a little bit of mobility, especially to the right. And he just right-handed to anything to the right, he has a really good motion. I think to the left, he has a big windup. But as far as just throwing footballs, he was the best guy on the field. And Greg Bedard called in today to the station and mentioned that he's nowhere near where Mac Jones was. I feel like it's hard to compare the two because Mac came from this elite, program at Alabama and had all the things ready to go, right? But didn't have the ability. Drake May, I feel like, has this ability, but does not have all those intangibles and starting point, like huddles, things to that degree that Mac Jones had. So is that where you think he's at this point? And what did you think were some of the reasons why he had struggles today in his first day of pads?
Yeah, it's a great question. I feel like what Greg said, and I heard it on my way home, and I thought what Greg said wasn't all that outlandish. Like, Mac Jones coming into the NFL was definitely considered more pro-ready than where Drake May is coming into the NFL. So when the Patriots drafted Mac, that was the expectation, was that he was going to be able to start right away as a rookie because of his pro-readiness and because of the way that he was able to, what were the words? I forget when they drafted him. It was something like he chews up playbooks or something like that, right? He was this very quick learner and very able to grasp things and grasp concepts. So I wasn't surprised by what Greg said because he's right and was right even before the draft. But I think the biggest thing that we see, just comparing the quarterbacks now to in the same offense, so it's more apples to apples with Jacoby Brissett, is that you see a command and you see a decisiveness at the line of scrimmage that gets the offense in and out of good and bad plays and is able to control things out there. He knows where his answers are, knows where his quick outlets are when there is pressure, and things to that nature that Drake May is still trying to figure out. Like you said, Drake May fills out the suit. There's no doubt about that, and he looks great when he's just throwing the football. But it's not a pro day, right?
Yeah.
They got to get him up to speed mentally. And to me, that's where he's at right now. It's that those little things like just being a beat too slow to a read or, something like that. It's not necessarily that I have any concerns about his mechanics or his downfield accuracy at this point. I just think that it's more about a processing and in the mental side of things with Drake May that I hope that as we watch him this summer and we're talking about this 4 or 5 weeks from now, maybe we have a different response to where he's at in that part of the game. But there's no doubt about it. When you watch Jacoby Brissett, you see things run on time. You see them checking in and out of plays, especially in the run game today. There were a couple times where Brissett got them into the right run read, and they were able to run a successful play, whereas Drake May kind of just came to the line of scrimmage. They snapped the ball, and it wasn't necessarily successful because they were running into the teeth of the defense. I remember Brady saying something along those lines on the air, I forget where it was, about snapping the ball into a bad defense. And today I felt like there were multiple instances where Drake was snapping the ball into defenses that the play never stood a chance to begin with. Those are things that at 21 years old, we're talking about PhD level stuff where he's just not going to be there yet. So hopefully they can get him at least closer to that point by the start of the season, so maybe he can push to start week 1. But if not, then I think they're in decent hands right now with Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I'm not discouraged, right? Oh, number 3 overall pick can't really get guys in the huddle in and out right and, line guys up. He played at North Carolina where they stood around and looked at the sideline and they clapped. Like, so that I feel like if that's his biggest adjustment, I like the approach of potentially backing up Jacoby Brissett. One other thing I'll just mention, too, I noticed this yesterday, the speed of the game for Jacoby Brissett is not hard for him. He really understands the pass rush. I think he knows when to take sacks, too. So I don't know. I wasn't really impressed with Brissett yesterday at all, but it sounds like today when it came down to it, he understood what he needed to do, where he needed to be. And would you say he was miles ahead of everybody else? And I also thought Zappy was pretty solid. I know people want to get on me because I'm a Zappy guy, but I thought he looked pretty solid. I think he's the guy. If it's not Jacoby Brissett or if something happens to Brissett, I don't think they go to May.
Yeah, I think that's fair right now that both the veterans are ahead of the rookies, which I think you would expect. In terms of being worlds ahead of Drake May, I don't know if I would describe it as that because the issues that Drake May is having right now are things that I think he'll get better at. Maybe even in short order. Like, this was the first day that they had him pads, right? So we haven't even gotten to him playing in preseason games or anything like that yet either. So hopefully it happens quickly. Now, maybe it won't. Maybe it won't, and then he'll be more delayed. But in general, I do feel like these are things that will come in time. Right now, the game needs to slow down for him a little bit, and he needs to master this offense. If he can get to that point sooner rather than later, then there's no doubt about it who throws the better ball between the two guys. So Jacoby Brissett right now is a fine placeholder. We all knew that. But I still feel like I feel pretty good about where Drake May is. Mm-hmm. It just didn't happen for him overnight, which I feel like is maybe a little bit crazy that some people thought it would, right? And I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but it's just that was probably a little bit lofty and how good he looked in the spring and how good he looked at some of these early on practices in shorts and shells. You get caught up in it, and I did the same thing, and I'm guilty of it probably as well. You're looking at it and you're like, oh my God, this guy might be ready right away. We didn't expect this. But it seems like right now that maybe we're pressing the brake pedal just a little bit.
I feel like Elliott Wolf and the Patriots set the expectation pretty well with Drake May, meaning he has some work to do, but the tools are there. I like what I saw from the guy. But yep, today in his first day of pads, I'm sure a lot of guys in their first day of pads struggle a little bit. Evan, before I let you go, the Barmore situation, do you think he's just out indefinitely and maybe look at another guy to bring in at this point?
Yeah, I hate to speculate on something like that because we just don't have a ton of information. But when you look at comps from over the years, and we all remember David Andrews in 2019, there's just not a whole lot of examples just based off of the treatment that you have to go through with that, with blood thinners and all that kind of stuff. There's not a ton of examples of guys coming back quickly from something like that. And it's also a risk that you don't necessarily want to take with just the guy's health, which is obviously first and foremost over football. So I would expect that they probably approach it moving forward, like they're not going to have Christian Barmore for the season. And if it's good news, then that's great. But probably more than likely, it's going to be a combination of the guys that currently have on the team, like a Daniel Aquale, Armon Watts, who they signed in free agency, those types of guys, which I know isn't what people want to hear. But as of right now, that situation seems like it's completely out of the organization's hands in a lot of ways and in the hands of the doctors.
Yeah, this is probably a good time to, I don't know if you lock up Godshaw and then Matthew Judon. I mean, I feel like the leverage is with both of those players right now.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it that helps, especially Judon, I would say, because now you have no pass rush or proven pass rush really without Judon and Barmore in the mix. But I actually have been on Elliot Wolf's side a little bit with Judon because a lot of the contracts that they've handed out or extensions that they've handed out have been to younger players that are heading into their second or just third contracts that are on the right side of 30. And I can understand why they didn't want to extend Matthew Judon into his 30s, because is Matthew Judon going to be on the next great Patriots team? Probably not. So extending a player at 32 years old for a rebuilding roster doesn't make a ton of sense. But now they are in a position where if they don't have Judon and they don't have Barmore, then you're talking about really not being competitive in 2024, which I don't think is what they want to do.
All right, man. Any expectations for tomorrow? What is this, day 6 now, Camp?
Yeah, day 6, another day in pads for the Patriots tomorrow, and with the day off on Wednesday. So I would expect a pretty intense day again out there tomorrow, but a lot of run game work, I'm sure. That's what Alex Van Pelt and this group wants to do on the offensive side of the ball. Gerard said it this morning. They want to run the ball, control the game, play good defense. So I expect them to continue to pound the rock tomorrow as well.
I thought Gibson looked okay, too.
Yeah, he had a big run on outside zone handoff. You see that speed, that explosiveness. He's a 4.39 guy, has that ability to burst and really get out into the open field and into space, and he's got some versatility too. So I think they really like his fit in terms of those two things. It gives him a little bit more speed between the tackles that they don't necessarily get out of Ramondre, and he can catch some passes. So I don't look at him as just like a James White, third down guy. I think they're going to use him a little bit on early downs to try to be a little bit more of like a change of pace back instead of just somebody that catches passes.
All right, there he is. Evan Lazar, everybody. Patriots.com does a solid job over there. And when I saw you, I said, you're all grown up, because you are all grown up.
I know.
Now.
It's year 7 for me, which is hard to believe.
7 years, wow. Is this I'll ask one more because I've already fired off like 10 questions at you, but it felt weird. It felt weird there yesterday, man. Like it's different in this Judon situation, man. I feel like this is the first time where we get to see Gerard Mayo, and what happens here and how he handles something.
Yeah, it's a great point. I thought the first thing or the hardest thing for Gerard Mayo this year was going to be managing the expectations and the questions about Drake May, right? Because us, well, week 1, if it doesn't go well against Cincinnati, everybody in week 2 is going to, first question out of everyone's mouth is going to be, when's the time to go to Drake, right? And you're just going to keep getting that question week in and week out. But these situations with the way they ran their off season and they have, retained a lot of guys, it did open the door here to Matthew Judon and Godshaw's disappointment or displeasure, and now they have to almost navigate this. This has become a bigger story at this point, I would say, than how Drake May looks in training camp, which in some ways might be a good thing, I suppose, since it's not going, he's not coming out like gangbusters, but at the same time, I don't think this was the expectation that this was going to be the lead story of camp for the Patriots.
Yeah, no Barmore, no Judon, no Peppers. That's 3 levels of the defense that they're going to be relying on a lot. And even Godshaw, for that matter. It's a tough blow to a defense that is supposed to lead the team. He's Evan Lazar, everybody. Check him out, Patriots.com. When do you guys do your Catch-22?
Catch-22 is on Thursday this week, and Unfiltered is Tuesday and Thursday.
All right. There it is. Check out all of Evan's work. Evan, appreciate you, bro. We'll catch up probably before the season starts.
Sounds good, Joe. Thanks for having me on.
Man. Evan Lazar, everybody. Check out all his work, Patriots.com. There is stuff happening in the Major League Baseball trade deadline. We'll tell you what those are now.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, the Red Sox are... All right, back here 98.5, the Sports Hub. So the Red Sox are winning 14-7. I don't care about the 7 runs. By the way, Paul Skeens has 100 strikeouts in 13 games. Who is this guy? It's rookie cards, though, let me tell you. Seen those things?
I was going to say, Joe, you know who Paul Skeens is.
This guy. I'm telling you, you want to buy some cards?
Don't let Tom Karen hear you say that.
Oh, yes. Okay, let's piggyback on that real quick. We got the Musings coming up next, which is more important than Tom Karen. But WTF is Quinn Priester says, one, James Stewart, who I back, my boy, Tom Karen, at Tom Karen, Karen. I mean, he was a first-round pick who was a top 100 prospect. He's 23 years old and would be the youngest pitcher on the Sox staff. If the Pats traded for someone who was the 18th overall pick in the draft, you'd probably know who the TF he was.
Very bitchy.
Was he trying to body bag him for that?
Wah.
You know, Tom, you seem like a really nice guy. For real. I mean that. I don't know you. You don't know me. You seem like a really nice guy. But you have this be better kind of attitude that doesn't fly with me.
Yeah, especially about the MLB draft from 5 years ago.
Yep, and I'm sure you make a lot more money than I do. You work at Nesson. You've had probably a 25-year career there. So I respect all the work that you've done. I really do that. I really do. So if you want to come at me, just remember, I have a lot of nights that will probably body bag you before I get to say something. So I just, I preface by saying careful. But why would you do that to James Stewart? Because we're gonna body bag you now, and you just always have to have some sort of sensitive remark regarding the Red Sox.
It's very holier than thou.
And the Red Sox are if I worked for Nesson, even if I worked for another competitor in this town, I would just take shots at everybody. Why not? Like if I was working at Nesson, right? And it was like, oh, well, if the ownership does something at the deadline, maybe. Because you know why? People will be like, who that Joe? Whoa. Joe said something about ownership on Nesson. Whoa. Like, it would get a buzz. You'd respect people who say that because they're not afraid, right? You know who I learned this from? Dan Shaughnessy, the Boston Globe. That man writes in that paper every week about the owner. Every week. You know who writes his checks? John Henry or Linda, whatever. But that guy says what he wants and gets paid by the same guy who he knocks. Tom Karen, unfortunately, you going at Jimmy Stewart, whatever, you're trying to compare baseball to NFL, which, again, they don't cross sports on that show if you watch.
Comparing an MLB draft, anyone drafted, it could be the first overall pick. Comparing them to someone drafted in the NFL is just
18th pick NFL draft. Let's just, I don't know.
It's disingenuous, is what it is.
It was Amarius Mims, the tackle that went from Georgia that went to the Bengals.
Guess what? I wouldn't have known that, Tom.
I did not know. Tom, honestly, I only know who he is because I did my job and I researched tackles in the draft because I thought the Patriots might take one in the first 2 rounds. I don't want to knock on Tom Karen. He's a nice guy. He does a good job.
He's whiny, though. He's a real whiny guy.
He's kind of whiny.
Very whiny.
Why is everybody up there all whiny?
You need attention, Joe. That's what you do. You whine, right? Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
You know who I like the most? That guy, Jamal Webster guy.
Yes.
You know why? Because he's out in the stands. He's just having fun. He doesn't care what you say about him. He's just there. He's just there, getting paid, doing his job. Doesn't care what you say. I like guys like that. What I was going to say here, though, is we got the Musings, which is very important. Karen backers at me right now. Did you know that Danny Jansen started as the catcher in the Blue Jays versus Red Sox game that was suspended in the second inning due to rain back on June 26th? Did you know that the game will be replayed August 26th, and it could be the first game where Jansen plays for both teams. It's never happened before.
It's never okay because I did hear McCarthy talk about this a little on the baseball hour, and he said he thought it may have happened before. So if it's never, I mean, either way, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, if it's never happened before, that's wild.
This is from Sportsnet.
That's we trust them, right? TSN.
Sportsnet stats. He could be the first player in MLB history to appear in a game for both teams. I'm going to go with it.
Let's go with it.
I'm going to go with it. You know what else we're going to go with? The Musings. I got a lot coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
all sorts of stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So
wrote to him already. New pet peeve he wrote. This is, by the way, how the Musings started. It started with pet peeves and things that bothered me. And that I just, now it's like I find a story and I talk about it. When you do a show every night, it's how it happens. He wrote, people who don't keep in touch, minimal communication, nothing for birthdays, holidays, or anything. Then they want $50 for their kid's baseball team or cheerleading camp. NFC, he writes. And then Dave Ross, some man, maybe it's the old baseball guy, I don't know, writes, can you send me $50 for cheerleading camp? I've never heard of $50 for cheerleading camp. Girl Scout cookies, yeah. Oh, I've been hunted down for that before. You know what else I get a lot, Skaz? You didn't do it to me this year, but it's happened to you. I know it. Hey, do you want to sponsor one of my golf tournaments, man? It's just for a good cause. You know how much money I've spent over the years on behalf of 98.5 The Sports Hub? Hey, the Sports Hub sponsored the... See the dragonflies? I was at Gillette Stadium yesterday, and a dragonfly came by me, and I went, no. What do dragonflies do? Do they bite? If I had to do like a tier of bugs I don't want that fly, I think greenhead is number one. This is outside of bee, wasp, all that. Greenhead, number one. Mosquito, number two. A dragonfly? I don't know. No. What do they do, though? Do you look them up?
Yes, dragonflies can bite, but it is usually painless and small. A large dragonfly could leave a painful mark, but it is very rare.
Okay. Why were there so many dragonflies at Musquamaket Beach yesterday? What the hell happened? Imagine just being out. I mean, I've been at Plum Island before in my life, and the greenheads attack you. You could go underwater, they'll wait. They'll just hover and wait for you. So I'm out on that. Here's another one. Do we know what dragonflies do, by the way?
So apparently this is from AccuWeather on why that happened. Goforth studies, which is massive swarms of dragonflies form when large groups of the colorful aerial insects pause their migration to feed, and this is the time of year migratory species head southward. So swarms can be so large they show up on weather radars. So apparently this is a big thing for dragonflies. They swarm so heavily it can show up on like a Doppler.
Yeah, I gotcha. But they migrating for what?
It looks like from radar data that the dragonflies got caught up in a sea breeze front which formed near the shore and moved northwestward, according to meteorologist and digital producer Jesse Farrell.
Okay, I'm out.
Sea breeze fronts carry with them whatever is in the air. So basically, they were all flying. A sea breeze came and carried them onto the beach.
No, they prey on mosquitoes, which I guess
I'm a fan of that.
I like that. All right. I don't usually dig into the old Dear Abby every once in a while. Like you don't have a lot of musings that say Dear Abby, right? So, Christina, you might like this one. Dear Abby, my daughter's boyfriend smokes weed and gambles all day. This is Dear Abby today, by the way. My wife and I have a daughter, Liz. She's our life. She's 28 and she's a nurse. Her boyfriend, Owen, used to be a heavy cannabis user. My wife suspects he still uses it when he gets stressed. He is also a gambler. I will be the first to tell you that marijuana and gambling go hand in hand. Also, drinking. We have tried to give Owen a chance. He had no place to stay, so he stays in our walk-in in-law apartment. My wife thinks he is disrespectful, but I think she overreacts because she doesn't like him. Owen has been going out with my daughter for 4 years now, and he says he is getting her a ring, but nothing transpires. Liz seems to love him, but my wife and I feel he's not a good choice and is headed for the trouble down the road. I'm at my wit's end, and my wife is constantly stressed. I know you are going to say my daughter is 28 and an adult, but this situation is different. What else can you offer strung along in New York? This was a man writing to Dear Abby.
Was he 40?
So, Skaz, I ask you.
A man that gambles and smokes weed?
I was going to say, sure, we're out of this one, man. I don't know what to tell him.
I don't know, Joe. We can give expert opinions here. You want to go to the source.
What would I do? I don't know.
Does he have a job? If he works a job, if he's not late for work, I don't know. Yeah, does he just like to dabble in gambling, or is he like, wagering the potential children's futures away? That's what we need more information here.
Did he take the Red Sox run line tonight of 15 or something?
Did he have Jason Tatum's over this weekend?
What would happen? Would books ever? You can't. I know you can't bet on it here.
8.5 points. So it was a void.
So
voided bet. Good. He DNP'd.
Good.
I know a couple people that had his under as well, but yeah.
See, that would have pissed me off.
Of course.
See, whatever side I'm on. I don't know what to tell this man. How many people do you know?
I want to tell this guy to smoke a joint. That's what I want to tell him.
Well,
Joe.
I was almost going with that because you ever see Half Baked, where he's like, this guy is always trying to find a way to bond with his son, but yet they're both hiding the fact that they smoke weed out their window. Wouldn't that be the way to bond? How many people do you know don't smoke weed and gamble?
They don't do either, you're saying?
No. How many people you know don't do both? 50-50 no.
I was going to say, not many.
Okay, one or the other, I'm going to say 98% of my friends.
That's why they're my friends.
I have some straight edge friends, but, I also have friends who are straight edge because of their addictions. I don't know what to tell this family, but I will say this. Sometimes you want better for your child, right? And a man who wants to smoke weed and gamble all day and live in the in-law apartment, does that seem like a motivated person?
No, so I will agree with you there that, we need to learn more about his habits outside of that.
So, do you have to have a man-to-man talk with Owen? What are your plans regarding my daughter? Hey, how's that ring going? I need you to get the hell out of the in-law apartment. My wife hates you. That's probably what I would do. Like, hey, listen, bro, I got to talk to you, man. I like you. You take all the crap that I off my plate that I don't have to deal with.
Hey, it might be a good shield for the husband.
So like, bro, I got to talk to you, man. Can you do me a favor? When do you get in the ring? When do you think you want to propose? Are you going to? Yes. How much money do you have?
This feels like a guy that she wouldn't like even if he didn't smoke weed and gamble, and this is just like the excuse. Like, we're using this.
Yes. It's not about the gambling and the marijuana.
You just don't like him.
Yes. We've tolerated your living situation for a very long time. Do you have gambling debts? While Liz may not like you doing it, explain to Owen that it's time to find a place of his own. This was some of the responses. I'm hoping, as I suspect you are, that this may galvanize him to action, whether it's to step up to the plate or head out of the door. Listen, if you kick him out of the in-law, now he's got to go live with some friend, and they're just going to gamble all day.
And then your daughter's going to be spending time at the friend's house. Yep. You don't know where she is.
And then she's going to start smoking weed.
Start gambling.
She's going to start gambling and quit her nursing job. What real morbid there, huh? I feel like I need to pull up Dear Abby a lot more. There's another one here. Dear Abby, how do I didn't plan this one. I'm just now we're on it. So, Dear Abby, how do I ask my family to stop worrying about me? I was widowed 3 years ago after a 28-year relationship. My sister and father panic. If I don't respond to their texts within 12 hours, they're always telling me they're just worried. We live in different time zones, and I try to respect them by not responding after 9 or 10. They react with great worry. I'm a capable, self-aware adult, and I would like this to stop without hurting their feelings. I've told them this, and they continue. For example, I traveled one weekend and returned home after 10 p.m. my time, midnight their time. And they responded 12 hours later, hello, when I didn't respond to a text about where I was. This was air travel, not by car. When my father learned I had been out of town, I don't know. Oh, there you go. So you like that one. See, Christina liked that one.
She's saying get like one of those life alerts or like Life 360 for them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Constantly know where they are, what they're doing.
I'm falling and I can't get up. That commercial, dude. Being real.
That'll wake you up on the couch at 2 a.m.
Dude, I remember being at my grandmother's house as a kid, like, because she loved that, like, what was it, Price is Right, Family Feud, like, daytime. They would play that, and in the middle of the night, I'd hear, I'd be taking a nap. I've fallen, and I can't get up, and I'd freak out. I never want to hear that lady's voice again. What else is going on?
Joe, speaking of gambling debts, we're talking a little Sopranos off the air. I got to meet Davey Scattini last night, or Scattino.
Yeah?
He's got some big gambling debts to Tony and Richie April.
Yeah, Davey is...
Thomas Patrick, or what's his name? Or he's the Terminator.
Yeah, he... Yeah, the guy. Yeah,
he's the Terminator.
Did you see... Have you seen his job yet?
Yes, he works at the Sports Authority.
He owns the Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And then they got to find him. Have you seen where they found him sleeping one night?
He just had to give his car to Meadow. That's where I'm at right now.
He gave his car to Meadow, yes. And then they find out later when they... Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
That's right where I'm at. I just watched that one last night.
Okay.
So his son's supposed to sing with Meadow, and his son abandons her. Yep.
Because he lost the car because his dad's the mob, and
he's blaming Meadow, even though his dad's the one.
That's a
$10 is easy.
That's a Dear Abby.
Yeah, that's a Dear Abby.
Dear
right
Abby.
There.
My father has gambling debts and gave my car to my girlfriend, who happens to be the mob guy. What do I do? Run. I'd run, but they'll find you. Keep watching.
Oh, yeah, we're moving now.
It's something I want to say so bad, but I can't because I don't want to spoil it. Man, he was so bad in that movie. He complained, too. He was like one of those guys, man, you're taking me for everything, man. Like, dude, don't gamble. Do I do the Chipotle thing or no? You know why I'm going to do it? Because this is a win. A night show win. The Chipotle CEO says their restaurants will serve bigger portions following a social media campaign. Us, Skaz, we take credit for it. We have been talking about this for months.
We've been all over this one.
The CEO has listened. More portions. I almost thought about going today. I ran into a former colleague of ours. Can't say his name because he works for a competitor. But when I asked him, how did you lose so much weight? He goes, I just ate Chipotle salads. And I looked at him and I go, salad, huh? Yeah, I'm out. I think you look great there, sir. But yes, he lost 157 pounds, he told me.
Wow, good for him.
That's like you. Am I over under on you?
Yeah, I'd have about 15 pounds left, maybe.
Oh, wow.
10 pounds
Okay, all right.
left, around there. Yeah.
So I kind of nailed you.
Yeah. I don't have 157 pounds to lose. About 15.
Yeah, I would just like it if like I could pull it off myself. Like if I could take something from my belly and put it on my butt.
Christina liked that one.
Just take some right off the belly and just put it on my butt. Just move it. Yeah, like if you wore a what are those things we call growing up? The pouches. What were those things called?
Like a fanny pack.
Fanny pack. Yeah. We used to call them a muff in football. I played center, so like I had a muff on my.
Hey now.
Birthdays! Where are we starting out today, guys? Not a great day.
I got some for you, Joe.
All right, I got Dak Prescott first.
Dak Prescott's a good one.
Okay.
Geddy Lee.
71 years old.
How about Scott Steiner?
I feel like we should get the promo now. We'll wait the promo. But Scott Steiner recently said he doesn't like AEW because there's no storylines. Christina has a list, huh? Wow, you got a good list today, Christina. I didn't have a good list like this. Chad Billingsley, baseball player, 40. Ashley McBird or Bride? What is that? McBride. Looks like Bird, doesn't it? 41. Rachel Miner, 44. Seth Griesinger. He played baseball. Josh Radnor. Oh, Wanye Morris of Boys to Men. That's my guy. Steve Wojciechowski. Mike Williams. What did he play? He gave up that home run to Joe Carter, right? Is that the right Mike Williams?
I believe you're right, yeah.
Martina McBride. Different McBride spelling, 58. Steve Fry, 61, also for the Phillies. Charles Schwab. He made a lot of money.
I got two more for you, Joe.
Okay.
One, Scotty Farrell.
Yes.
Pour me a cold one.
Shake it up. Give me a shot in a beer.
Scotty Farrell.
Speaking of gambling and marijuana.
Yeah, 59 years old today, Scott Farrell.
Good for you, Scott. You know what, Scott Farrell? I'm going to tell you this right now. Huge influence of mine.
Farrell on the bench. Many overnights.
Farrell on the bench.
Working with, not working with, but listening, I should say, to Farrell.
Brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. I can't even remember the phone number anymore, but...
And one more, Joe. We got to mention it. Today would have been Tony Sirocco's 81st birthday.
Oh.
Polly Walnuts.
Hey, Tone. You believe the guy over there the other day? Hey, Tone.
Not a big fan of Italy, from what I just saw. Didn't have the best time in Italy.
I could do a lot of these. I don't know if they're clean, though. Hey, Tone. Your favorite guy's not coming back anymore. Hey, Tone, did you see what happened down at the... Tone, if your toilet... No.
I like when they're talking about the shrink, and he's like, "Yeah, I went to see a shrink. Learn some coping skills. He's not afraid to show his softer side."
Hey, yo, Tone, you hear what I said? Oh, I can't wait for you to learn more about Chris and Tone and him. Uh-oh. I just got followed by Tom Karen.
Always listening.
No. Because what? Like, he's going to come at me, and I'm going to be like, dude, you make more money than me. You're on Nesson. You're more famous than I. Like, you're just better than me. Like, what can you say? What?
Just don't be so sensitive. That's all we're asking.
Like what? Oh, not above anybody. Joe does a great job. Listen on my way home every night. Whoa!
We like Tom Karen.
Thank you, Tom.
Just don't know why he's so angry on Twitter.
Thank you, Tom. I do like you. I just didn't know the 18th pick in the draft. I had to look it up.
5 years ago.
5 years ago, 18th pick in the draft. Let's just mind's eye. What year was it? Let's give me a year. What was 5
2019.
Okay, 2019. Highsmith Steelers. I'm just literally guessing.
The 18th pick in the NFL draft in 2019 would be center for the Minnesota Vikings, Garrett Bradbury.
No shot.
NC State.
NC State, though. No shot. All right, well, we're very late. And the Red Sox won. We'll tell you what they're going to do next here on the Sports Hub.
From the Town Tire Studios, the only place to hear the local call of the game.
with a guy I know named Mark Lewis. And Mark asked him about contracts, and we'll tell you what he said coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
If you need tires, think Town Fair Tire. Thinking name...
feeling. I don't want to be the bad guy, but it's like, shoot, bro, like help me out. We got the most cap in the league right now, bro. Like and then with that, like they don't even get the money. So what the hell are y'all doing with it? Like y'all literally just not using it. Those guys have a tough decision. It's hard for them. It's hard to know who to give the money to, when to give the money to, where, how much. There's a lot of stuff that go along with that. But I wrote out my own contract and sent it to them. They just ain't responding.
Not yet.
I for real. I wrote my own one out.
Ella said an offer has been submitted.
Yeah, I wrote my own, and I don't do most of the talking to them. They let me play football, and I got an agent. But that one thing I did do, I was like, I've been around this league a long enough time.
Was your agent like, what are you doing?
The thing is, my agent was like, bro, who wrote this for you? I was like, me, bro. I was like, I wrote this. He was like, yeah, bro, when you're done, you can do this for a living. I was like, yeah, I know. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I just don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance. All right, back here at 98.5 The Sport, though. That was Matthew Judon on the Mark Lewis is Cool podcast. We've had Mark on our show. And, well, Mark, I think you got yourself a scoop, bro. Matthew Judon wrote up his own contract and gave it to the Patriots? So, do you think they took it seriously? And then what was this report? I forget who had the report that they've made him an offer. Somebody had it. So, Matthew Judon created his own contract and then gave it to the Patriots. And his agent wasn't involved in it. That is stupid. I don't think you're a stupid man by any means, Matthew Judon. I've met you. We've met. Remember? It was a ping pong event with you and David Pastrnak. You know what was so funny about that event, guys? Matthew Judon hung out with the crowd. But once that event was over, it was like David Pastrnak, they had like a cape like in Harry Potter, when he puts the cape on and he gets invisible. They did that to David. You could not. I didn't even see Pastrnak leave. The event ended and poof.
It was Scott Zolak-esque.
They wanted him gone.
Michael Felger-esque.
And I agree because I don't want him getting injured, getting into an Uber or anything like that.
No, of course not.
So Matthew Judon hung out, and guess who hung out with him? Me and Bird.
That's a trio right there.
And I was just like, what's up, man? He's bigger than me. I'm 6'3". He's taller than me. He a big boy. He's a great pass rusher. I'm curious where he ranks. Current NFL sack list. And we went over the numbers the other night. I think he has an argument. The problem is that they've restructured his deal. He's 6th. What's that?
13th.
Oh,
He's
13th.
13th
Okay.
of active NFL players.
1-3. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Not my best work.
Not good math.
Do you like who's in front of him?
Okay. I'm gonna say.
Who do you think has the most career sacks by an active player?
Active player. Is it? Oh, geez. Is it Khalil Mack?
Khalil Mack is 4th.
Okay, I'm close then. Bobby Wagner?
Bobby Wagner is not on the list I'm looking at.
Wow. All right, give me the list then.
Von Miller is number 1.
Oh, yeah. He's a Hall of Famer.
123 sacks in 173 games.
Okay.
Then you have Cam Jordan, Calais Campbell.
Wow.
Khalil Mack.
Calais Campbell. Huh?
He's also, Calais Campbell has played 244 games, which is a lot more games than the rest of the guys.
Yep.
Then you have Khalil Mack, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Daniel Hunter, Cam Hayward, Chris Jones, Brandon Graham, Jerry Hughes, Joey Bosa, Judon. So Judon has 66 and a half sacks in 114 games.
And I think you mentioned he was paid around between 13 and 17. Or, 17.
Right in that range, yeah.
Right. Okay. So he's paid amongst the top pass rushing sack leaders. I understand his argument is the $7 million of guaranteed money. I get it. But didn't he sign that contract to come back? Like, do you think Belichick was signing deals a year ago knowing he was out the door? Because that was a Belichick deal.
Be very Wick Grossbeck of him, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. No, that's a Belichick deal. Hey, if you play that audio again, you don't have to. But did you hear him say they have all that money? What are they going to do with it? Who else is saying that? I mean, Godshaw's going to be saying that, right?
What the hell are y'all doing with it? Like y'all literally just not using it.
Wonder how Bill would feel about a comment like that.
I think he'd be shipped out right now for a 6th-round pick.
You don't think he'd be arguing on the sidelines with him during practice?
No chance in hell. The old Vince McMahon song. No chance. No chance. No, he'd be on a flight to Detroit for a 4th and a 6th-round pick. And if he has 10 sacks, it'll be a conditional. They'll get a 3rd out of it. His ass would be in Detroit. or give me like a crap team. He'd be on Chicago Bears. Or they would send him back into some real just crap team. Like he's off to Seattle. You know? Just Carolina. Yeah, that's what they would do to him. All right. The thing is, though, is I'll keep saying it about Judon. If he was released, he would make more money on a 1-year deal because it would be guaranteed. So what would happen is, hypothetically, the Ravens would say, all right, Judon, we'll give you a 2-year deal worth $25 million, but we're going to give you 13 of it up front. That means he's going to get $13 million of guaranteed money, where he's making $7 from the Patriots. He has the leverage and has more leverage because Christian Barmore will probably be out indefinitely. And then Devin Godshaw is going to say, well, hey, Christian Barmore is out. And I saw the comparisons. Actually, Mike Reese had this over the weekend. Mike Reese is a great dude, man. Really, really appreciate what he does. Like that guy, you know what else I like about Mike Reese that he's been doing lately? You know, guys, we on the night show, if we like somebody on social media, we have them on the show. You see Noah Dalzell just got a nice little bump. She's going to CLNS now and going to be doing more. This Los Talks guy, I see him all the time. You know who has him on now? Mike Reese. We just see them on social media. I don't know who they are, but they do great work and great content. Mike's now talking to these guys. But the Godshaw stuff, this is what I saw from him. He wants respect, and they came up with some of the comparisons or comps when it comes to Godshaw. So Godshaw started all 17 games last year. He played 60% of the snaps, had 56 tackles, 1 sack, and he hasn't missed a game in 3 seasons since playing in New England. Like, that's something to me. It's a passing league, so he's a run stuffer. The Patriots have re-signed or extended the contracts of 11 different players. Add 12 now to Jabril Peppers. And if you want to compare some of the numbers here, I mean, Barmore just got $41 million in guaranteed money. And he points to contracts such as Grover Stewart of the Colts. He got 3 years, $39 million. 25 of it was guaranteed. Dalvin Tomlinson of the Browns, 4 years, $57 million, 27 guaranteed. He thinks that those are comparable market deals to a player of his caliber. Quote, the run player market has gone up, not just the pass rush market. I have no doubt the Patriots and Drew will get a deal done. If not, it's a business. I'm not going to be sad and angry. I still love them. I just have to do what's best for me. What's his current contract right now? Devin Godshaw. Shaw contract. Can't spell his name. Maybe AI will figure it out. There we go. They did. 2 years, $20 million. So he is getting $10 million this year. 7, 10, 6. Yeah, he's getting about $10 million. So if he gets a new deal, what does he want? Another $10 million in guaranteed money? Whew. They might have to do it. I mean, where's the money going? What are they going to use the money for? Isn't that what Matthew Judon said? What are they using the money for? Can we save that clip? I really like that. Whenever we bring up the Patriots salary cap situation, can you play it one more time?
What the hell are y'all doing with it? Like y'all literally just not using it.
Yes. So Mark Lewis is cool on the podcast. Mark, you got a soundbite for us, buddy. Oh, Tom Caron's on TV. So in between breaks with Jim Rice, he's tweeting at me. Like Matthew Judon. I practiced today. Red Sox won 14-7. If you care, you can call 617-779-0985. There's a lot we haven't got to yet. Can we play Stephen A again? I want to hear Stephen A on Jason Tatum. We'll do that next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
Tatum, and you can't find minutes in a 26-point lopsided victory. You can't find 1 minute. I'm trying to get away from cussing because, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I'm a decent human being that loves the Lord, and my pastor's watching me sometimes, and I know he gets mad at me when I cuss. But Steve Kerr, that's some straight bullshit. You gotta be kidding me. Ooh, these people getting on my damn nerves. And to have him go through an entire NBA season and then go through the playoffs and capture a championship and still take time in his offseason to join Team USA and to have a champion riding the bench like he's some damn water boy. You got to be kidding me. Really hard in a 40-minute game to play more than 10 guys. It's Team USA. 0. The reigning, defending.
Treating him like the water boy or treating him like Christian Laettner? What's worse? That's going to be a meme. I feel like the Jason Tatum on the bench for Team USA versus Serbia, that meme of him on the bench, he's pissed. I can tell. That guy's a very stoic man. When you make a stoic man mad, there is this fire burning inside his chest, and that's exactly what was going on when he's sitting riding the pine. Imagine the All-NBA only American, as Skaz pointed out. That should be it. We can get 300 words out of that one. The only American to be All-NBA and not play a single minute. We looked it up. Christian Laettner averaged 6 minutes a game. Christian Laettner got more minutes than Jason Tatum, who finished number 6 in the MVP and is number 5 this year to get the MVP award. Don't tell me it's about basketball anymore. Don't tell me it's about basketball. I'm mixing it together. I'm stirring the pot, and I'm telling you right now, in a Sports Illustrated article that came out last week, Chris Mannix had a sit down with him, and he said that when it came to Jaylen Brown, his boy, that he said that he was happy that he got the NBA Finals MVP. Happy for him, and said that he's been through the mud. Backed his boy and said, you know what? When their trade talks were happening about Jaylen Brown, I should have spoken up more. And when he was asked about it, because I went at it with Gasper and Felger about this one. You were there, Skaz.
It was a great Friday show.
They were asked, hey, is it tough not having Jaylen around? I put words in his mouth. But you know what? They've been doing that for 15 years. So to make my argument, I'm putting words in their mouth. Do you miss Jaylen Brown? Yes, I do. Yes. I bet you he spoke out about it. I bet you he spoke up about it. We haven't seen it anywhere, but I guarantee he has said something about it, and that's the reason why he didn't play. It's not because of Serbia and their bigs and Jokic or any of that. It's because I bet you he defended his boy because his boy's got a problem with Nike. Nike has a problem with his boy because his boy, freedom of speech, by the way, freedom of speech, doesn't like what Nike is doing. And don't give me the ethics of Nike when it comes to all the people that they've hired over the years and paid. Stop. If it was something that Jason Tatum said about Jaylen Brown, bravo, bro, because you know what? You were quiet for a long time. And now you're speaking up? I'm just making up the story. I don't know. We do this. This is rare. We have a show to do today. Blah. My story is he stuck up for his boy, and they benched him. And you know what? Stephen A., you're right, bro. You didn't even mention Jaylen Brown. I am. So you're all fired up that Jason Tatum didn't play? Well, I'm making it a story. He didn't play because I bet you he stuck up for his boy.
Yeah, and just to your point, Joe, about Jason Tatum being upset yesterday, we saw the pictures of him on the sidelines and stuff. This is something that I normally wouldn't have noticed, but a couple people on Twitter pointed it out. Jason Tatum is a very, very active social media user, a very active Instagram user, especially Instagram stories. Whether he runs that or not, I don't know. But when he was benched for Team USA, that was the first time in a very long time that there was no social media presence from Jason Tatum at all. No videos, no ads, nothing. There was pretty much radio silence from Jason Tatum. So to me, that says, yeah, he was upset. This did bother him. So I think the Celtics can use this whole summer as motivation for Tatum and Brown. So yeah, I think my biggest problem is the reasoning. There is no reasoning other than petty politics.
Basketball reasons.
Yeah, there's no...
Okay, yep. Basketball reasons. Basketball reasons. Team USA has basketball reasons.
Got to see Devin Booker play small forward for 27 minutes.
I never cared about Team USA in my life besides those cups. Those McDonald's cups, which, by the way, I shared it. I don't know if you saw it.
I did see those. You said you used to travel from McDonald's to McDonald's looking for those things.
Oh, I used to go to the one in Hyde Park. Then I'd go to, there was two in West Roxbury. There was one on the Route 1 south side, and then you'd go to the light, and then you'd turn around, and then you'd go to the one on the other side. And I went to both of them. And when I got Christian Laettner, I threw it right out. And actually, I used to ask, do you have anybody else on the cup? That Larry Bird was tough to get, man. That was the GOAT of plastic cups, the Larry Bird. Actually, McDonald's also had really cool Halloween baskets. You'd get like that little pumpkin guy. Every once in a while, it was a Grimace. What is a Grimace?
He's purple.
Okay. The Hamburglar, right? He was a burglar. Who else was like the McDonald's friends? Well, Ronald, who had really big feet. There was this like little statue at one of the ones I worked at, and it was like this bench, but the bench had Ronald sitting on it with his leg crossed, and his shoe was so huge. I'd always knock into it.
Joe, would you like to know what Grimace is?
Yes, please.
So, what is Grimace is the title of this article. The lovable, spherical-shaped purple giant has always been one of McDonald's most recognizable characters, with his bright smile and his arms always open for a hug. However, fans never really knew what he was supposed to be. This until 2021, when Brian Bates, a manager of a McDonald's in Canada, revealed the answer to the Golden Arch's biggest mystery. Grimace is an enormous taste bud, but a taste bud nonetheless. Grimace is a giant taste bud. Don't shoot the messenger, Joe. I'm just passing it along.
Do you know who Grimace reminds me of?
Barney?
What's SpongeBob's buddy there?
Patrick?
Yeah, him.
He's kind of like a Barney-Patrick hybrid.
Yeah.
The purpose of Grimace, Bates said, is to demonstrate that McDonald's food tastes good.
Who is Ronald McDonald's friends?
It is Grimace, Birdie the Early Bird, Ronald McDonald, and the Hamburglar.
Oh, yeah, Birdie the Early Bird was like a Miss Piggy type. Right?
She kind of looks like Big Bird.
It looks like, was Big Bird a woman?
I believe the voice, man. Yeah, I believe so.
But
that sounds right.
Was Big Bird a Big Bird
Joe, I don't know. My dad has Big Bird's autograph somewhere.
What?
On like a card. Yeah, I wonder if that's worth anything.
The National was this week. Did you hear about that? The National?
Oh, yeah, I heard it was a disaster.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I thought, well, my buddies were out. Chris Scott and all those guys were out there.
I heard fans are very happy that it's going to be back in Chicago.
So yeah, I'm an 80s kid. Yeah, this McDonald's stuff was real 80s. Was this part of your, do you remember any of these guys?
Kind of, sort of, but I'm just reading more of this article. Grimace was first introduced in 1971 as Evil Grimace. Oh, the evil taste bud.
What would be an evil taste bud?
It says the original Grimace was scaly, mean-looking, had 4 arms, and no charm whatsoever. I'm going to have to find a picture.
I feel like these would be cool Halloween. Can we get these on Summerween? I'll be Grimace. What the hell? You can be Birdie, Christina. Skaz, would you be the Hamburglar?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Who would be Ronald? I don't know why, but I feel like it would be Stenberg. I don't know why he was the first guy that popped in my head. I feel like we just need a Wallach character anyways. He was a taste bud Grimace, someone wrote. Yes. Yes. Yeah, did you hear? We just talked about it. He's a hybrid between Barney and Patrick. I still want my McDonald's cups. Christian Leitner. If you got stuck with him, that was the worst. All right, I'm looking at him right now. Clyde Drexler, Chris Mullen, Leitner. Man, I just dropped the Boston accent in there. Did you hear that? Magic Johnson, David Robinson. Who's that guy? Larry Bird, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, John Stockton, Karl Malone. I'm missing one guy. I can't decipher who this man is. Who am I missing from the team? Oh, Patrick Ewing. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Are all of them Hall of Famers? Except for Christian Leitner. We got to go to break. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 90. It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
All right, final segment here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Tonight flew by. So we get to do it all again tomorrow. Then Wednesday night, we have a special treat for Christina. By the way, we forgot about Mayor McCheese.
A sentence you would only hear on the Joe Show.
Tomorrow we will talk about McDonald Land.
But there's some very wild conspiracy theories about Mayor McCheese from a quick Google search.
I will just say this. This all started because of Team USA treating Jason Tatum like Christian Laettner. That's how all of this started tonight. So I blame you, Steve Kerr. You don't belong on a McDonald's cup. I think I could have coached the Warriors. Maybe. Thanks, Christina. Thanks, Skaz. Bird just texted me the photo of me, him, and Judon. Bird, right at the last minute. The trio. Imagine that podcast. Me, Judon, and Bird. We got to go home. Bye, YouTube chat. Talk to you guys tomorrow at 7.